Hello. We are alive. Kind of. Spooky music. I don't really know how loud it is.
I just tried using my hands. I forgot I didn't have my hands on.
Are you more of a hands-on or hands-off kind of guy?
Depends on what you mean.
Anyway, so yeah, we're looking at some wacky, fun little missing people. Yeah. Bozos getting fucking lost. What idiots. And dying too. Fucking losers.
Imagine. It could not be me.
Imagine. So this dude is talking about a bunch of famous cases of missing 411. You were just watching Wittigood videos? Well,
they're really good. Honestly, they're really, really interesting. I love them.
Yeah,
411 is just very, very interesting, and he's going to explain what 411 is to you don't know what 411 is.
I don't really know what 411 is, so...
Oh yeah, that's right.
What?
He also did the video on the the missing kids on milk cartons thing. There was a whole scandal behind that. I mean, go ahead and play the video now, but just commenting on it.
By the way, I have the Bee-Boo cursor.
I see that.
Topic is so wide and interesting that this is only.
Oh wait, that wasn't okay.
That
That wasn't the beginning.
Down the mystery of missing 411.
Missing 411
refers to a series of unexplainable disappearances across North America.
William Afton was the dude that put the kids on the milk carton.
Cases are so bizarre that it's hard to even speculate what could have happened to these people. And yes, I did say series because, as you're going to see, this topic is so wide and interesting that this is only the beginning of our analysis of it.
A series of events, wild, wacky, spanning across the entire national park. How many people died?
Every year along North America's national parks, landmarks, roadways, and cave systems, the most unexplainable disappearances take place. So across this video and future installments of Missing 411, we're going to look at several of these cases. We're going to look at different theories and
hold up. Is it multiple parks?
The mystery.
Yeah, it's not one park.
Oh.
And today we're going to do that with a special guest, but more on him in a moment.
Okay.
But for now, grab a seat and get ready to go on a journey of American terror.
I am ready to go.
As always,
Mother Nature is not nice. You are very correct.
now,
Mother
as
Nature
mentioned
will
earlier,
fucking
Missing
kill you.
411 describes unexplainable disappearances within the North American continent.
By the way, before he gets into it, I just want to say I am so fucking sad that the video, or the stream last night, got copyright just deleted off the face of the earth. I can't mute the audio. I have 0 options on it. So, the background music that you're hearing, I, again, don't really know how loud it is, but the background music that I have on right now is from Kevin MacLeod, who, if you don't know, makes all of the copyright-free music. So, you know, if no one else has got me, Kevin MacLeod's got me. Fucking absolute legend.
Now, at the moment,
Bro, William taking notes on this video, how they got kidnapped and the tactics they
reading the
used.
stories and then relaying that information to you all. However, my friend is what I would consider to be an expert.
Friend?
Not only has
Hey,
he
Newt,
done
are you an
firsthand
expert?
research into the individual
Yeah.
locations mentioned,
Not even
but he
close.
routinely harasses government employees to get more information about the cases, which is definitely
He routinely harasses government employees.
You know, that honestly, that kind of sounds like something Chuck would do.
Mm-hmm.
He routinely harasses the government employees. Dude,
End statement.
Imagine fucking Chuck on a phone call. You're literally glowing, okay? You fucking glowies. Give me the
He's
info.
trolling, dude.
Give me the info.
Communication.
That friend is my fellow host of the Weird Bible podcast and
Bye.
host of the Lore Lodge, Aiden
Lore
Mathias.
Lodge.
So rather than having myself give you a rundown,
He's the
of
guy
the
who does
complexities
most of
of
the Missing 411 case reviews.
and giving you the
How come we're not watching them?
commonalities between them, I'll
Because
just let
this is
the
a better
expert.
analysis of the whole thing as a concept.
Beautiful giant man. My name's
That's him.
Aiden Mattis, and I am the host.
Bro, you got a fucking banging camera, but man, your audio equipment must be fucking ass. Did you hear that shift?
Yes.
of the Lore Lodge, where we talk about history, folklore, the paranormal.
Bro, you sound like you're talking through your camera.
Phenomenon. When Isaiah first asked me to be involved in this video,
Mother Nature will
my
kill
immediate
you, or
response
worse,
was,
depending on the
"Who do you
animal.
think you are to
Imagine
approach
being
me like
360
this?"
no-scope
In
by a
reality, I was
seal.
actually quite grateful because
Seals
I
wouldn't
had
happen.
friends in
Seals
it.
aren't strong enough. Dolphins
The
might.
exact thing that he asked me
Oh,
to go over,
dude,
however,
dolphins
was
fuck you up.
the missing 411 profile. What
By the way,
makes
with
a
this
missing 411 case?
audio
Of
interface and
course,
not
we're
having
just
noise
dealing
suppression,
with
people can
any
hear
missing
me
person case
eat.
here.
I know.
Cases
I'm
that
literally
have
hearing you. It sounds like you're
obvious
playing with.
explanations such as
Tinfoil?
Playing with, like-
plays,
yeah.
farm,
Yeah.
or,
I'm trying to
you know,
unwrap my
animal
burrito.
predation, something like that. Those don't get researched as
Yeah, sorry.
411 cases. They're actually ruled out immediately upon there being a simple explanation. So, a missing
There is no
411 case
explanation.
is, by definition, a case for which there is no rational explanation. And on top of that, there are a number of factors that go into this.
I don't know how...
The guy who started writing the book.
I don't know how did I get here,
coined
but
the
this is
term,
some
which,
tea.
by the way, in case you're wondering
This
what missing 411 means,
It's pretty
missing
interesting.
is obvious, it's missing persons cases, and 411 is the dial code for calling for information. It's the information hotline.
I did not know that.
That's why I chose this video.
Missing 411, the information hotline. So, hold on. How many other, like, 11 dial things are there?
I can look that up while you keep playing the video if you want to know.
Okay, yeah.
So, missing 411 is
This is
missing
coffee. I prefer
the
tea.
information being exactly what happened to these people who went missing.
Or a
in
hyena
reality.
will eat you
Unusual
alive.
circumstances,
Hyenas
or
are
who were found
fucking
dead, or who were
ruthless.
not found
Holy
at all.
shit.
So, David Politis put together
They
this
will
profile
bite your
to
dick
tell
off.
what
Like,
do these
unironically, they go
generally
for the
have in
dick.
common. There's a number of things, and while not every single one will apply to every single case, a majority of them usually do. So what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to go through, I'm going to explain the profile points, and I'm going to give you quick little explanations regarding cases that fit those profile points, so that Isaiah can get on with the rest of the video with you having a solid understanding of exactly what he's talking about. There are 12 primary profile points regarding missing 401 cases, one of which is that they are clustered usually. There will be a number of cases that occur in one specific area, and there are 52 of these clusters across the continental United States and Canada. The
What?
other 11 missing 401 profile points are as follows. Most of these cases occur in national parks. Many of them involve elevation changes. A lot of them occur around bodies of water. People will often go missing near berry shrubs or boulder fields. Generally, the boulder fields are granite. A lot of people who are found won't have any memory of how they went missing or even the time during which they were. They'll just suddenly show up somewhere and not be able to explain what happened.
A lot of them are like community service, telecoms, observation. There's a number that's 811 is call before you dig, and that's basically like, hey, if you're gonna dig somewhere, call this number to see if that has been approved or not for, you know, whether or not you can dig there. You would literally have to call that number before you can start digging. A lot of them are just like
I can't dig a hole here. Yo, imagine if you had to call to,
511's
like, bury
the
a body.
FCC area
Actually,
number.
I think you would have to call to bury a body. Legally.
I'm guessing 811 is used a lot for things like cemeteries too.
Probably. So the memory loss one is... That's the one that has me a little curious, because what the fuck? Like, you just showed up somewhere?
If people are found, they tend to have no recollection of what happened.
See, that's the thing that has me weirded out, because he said cluster. Like, multiple...
Yeah, they happen in clustered areas in national parks, but all of them happen either near or in national parks.
Yeah, so multiple cases of people just not knowing?
These are also places you gotta remember that are like clear and evident and have like trails and stuff like that. This isn't like somewhere where it's easy to get lost.
Yeah, like, you know, with the Blair Witch, where they just went into the middle of the fucking forest like idiots.
People who are found are missing clothing. Some people attribute this to paradoxical undressing or heat stroke, but in a lot of these cases, the weather isn't extremely...
You know what paradoxical undressing is, correct?
No, I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure paradoxical undressing is like, you know, when your body like heats you back up and all that. And, like, basically when you're thinking irrationally, you just start to take your clothes off, basically, because either you think you're hot or you're cold. it's like it's a weird like that's what paradoxical undressing is. It's a weird like mental shutdown thing.
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be some stupid shit like fucking Dr.
That's
Manhattan.
why I was
just
explaining
like,
it.
Clothes disappear.
Yeah, that's why I was explaining it, because the word paradoxical is not very
Good, well used.
yeah, well used.
So you're going insane, so you take your clothes off. Thank you. Okay.
People will sometimes
that's
go
about
missing in swamps and end up found in places that they couldn't have possibly gotten to, or that they couldn't get there within the time frame that they went missing and were found. In a
That
lot of
is
cases,
also
one of
weird.
the utterly confounding things is that the dogs that are brought in, the bloodhounds, can't actually find a scent trail even when they're given someone's boot or something like that. They're just completely incapable of actually picking up the trail, or the trail will lead somewhere that doesn't actually make sense. Oftentimes these cases will involve young children. Of course, that's not something that can necessarily be attributed with all of them, because many of these cases are adults, but when the cases do involve young children, there are many commonalities between them. And an honorable mention in terms of profile points here is that not a majority necessarily, but a rather large minority of these cases involve people of German descent. That one probably doesn't have to do with anything, but it is weird.
Aiden's gonna
I'm glad he stated that. That's probably just a weird coincidence.
Can I just say that statement right there just reminded me of my mother telling me a story of the weird fairy that'll fucking explode my balls if I don't eat my vegetables.
Son, your balls will explode. Ah!
going to continue to help out throughout the rest of this series, so you'll definitely be seeing more of him. But if you're interested in checking out his channel, The Lore Lodge, or the podcast that him and I do together, the Weird Bible Podcast, it will be the second link in the
That's a fucking great podcast name.
description just below the ad. In future videos,
The
I want to
Weird
group together
Bible
cases that have
Podcast.
some common ground and maybe theorize on what that could mean. But for now, again, this is mostly an introduction. I want to go through some of the ones that I find the most terrifying. As a matter of fact, Aiden and I would both like to do that, so I'll let him have the first go.
Another one of these common points, elevation change. People will be found after going missing at 4,000 feet, and they'll be found at 9,000 feet, with really no explanation for how it is that they got there. And a case that exemplifies that is that of Bobby Bizup. Bobby went missing in Rocky Mountain National Park. He was at camp. It was a Catholic boys' camp. And
oh god,
all that
Catholic.
could really be discovered is that he was fishing in a local stream, and then the counselors called everybody back for food. One counselor saw Bobby Bizup say he was coming down. He had his fishing rod, turned around, went down to the bottom of the mountain, and when he got there, he realized Bobby was nowhere to be seen. He just wasn't there. So they launched a search, and they could not find Bobby anywhere until eventually they found him several miles away, much higher up on the mountain, and all they found of him was his hearing aids, his some of his clothes, and fragments of his skeleton. They didn't find anything other than that.
While it's very common for no remains to be found in a 411 case, sometimes when they are found, the case becomes all the more bizarre. An example of that is the instance of Charles McCuller. In 1974, an 18-year-old Charles McCuller was known for taking hiking trips throughout the Northwest United States. For about a year, Charles would hike out to these remote locations, take several wildlife pictures, and then work his way back. He was rather experienced, as is common with several 411
Search up a
cases,
writer
and
missing
it wasn't
child
uncommon
before and
for him to
after
spend a
the
few days by
disappearance.
himself in the mountains.
Okay.
You want me to do that?
No. Not to be that guy, but how the fuck did you just spell disappearance?
Minor spelling mistake.
No, major spelling mistake.
No, it's all right. Let him go, man. Trust me, I've had hard times. Let's not.
Oh yeah, I know. You are the
worst.
worst at spelling. Oh my god.
Well, I type what really fast, so it comes out what.
What?
Before returning to civilization. So in 1975, when a
Dicky
19-year-old
Beatins.
Charles told his friends that he was going to hike to the Crater Lake National Park in Oregon,
That is open as fuck. How do you go missing?
they didn't think much of it. That was until Charles didn't return for 3 days when he was only supposed to be gone for 2. So his friends called the police and an investigation soon followed. After performing an investigation, it seems the last person to see him alive was a park ranger who gave him a ride on January the 30th. That park ranger dropped Charles off at the trail he intended to follow. Some reports from that day say that Charles was spotted up to a 45-minute drive away just walking along the side of the road, and some other reports say that they saw someone matching Charles' description trudging through 5 feet of snow. However, the only one that can be confirmed is again that park ranger's testimony of taking him to the trailhead. A massive search was mounted for Charles, however it was made difficult to do any searching because of 12 feet of snow recently left by a snowstorm. Not only that, but after the case began, for some reason, the FBI became involved. The FBI only involves themselves with cases if a kidnapping or foul play is suspected. However, at this time in the investigation, it was just a guy who took too long to be on a hiking trip. To this day, it's not really explained why the FBI involved themselves. Especially because the evidence was that there was no evidence. The guy had disappeared without a trace. For months, nothing could be found, and even after all the snow had melted, there was still no evidence of Charles being anywhere. That was until October the 1st of 1976, nearly 2 years since his disappearance. On that day, 2 hikers found a backpack lying in the woods about 12 miles from the spot where Charles was originally dropped off. Within the backpack, the 2 hikers found keys to a Volkswagen, which after they gave it to the police, was a match to Charles' vehicle.
All of these
this
are...
is all real.
Yeah, these are all real cases. So, funny thing, when we did the Blair Witch watch-along, my brain went into maximum just full logic brain, thinking of how stupid a lot of the scenarios were. So, we're looking at real cases. Like, absolutely cannot be explained weird missing persons cases that have happened, like, in real life, not fiction. Because, you know, sometimes fiction is not as weird as real life. Like with these. Because what the
Reality
fuck?
is stranger than fiction.
So now that there was a lead, a search began at the location.
Why did he sound so
found.
serious?
And
Is it
shortly
real?
thereafter, Charles
Yeah, no,
remains were
these are all
discovered
real.
in the nearby Bybee Creek. And from there
Creek.
is where it gets weird. Charles' jeans were found sitting upright on a log with no other articles of clothing lying around it. Obviously, Charles hadn't gone hiking into the woods bare-chested just wearing his blue jeans, so his coat, shirt, and other undergarments were nowhere to be found. The only other article of clothing that was there was Charles' socks, which were tucked into the bottom of the jeans' pants legs. The jeans also had the belt and buttons undone, implying that whoever took them off had done so voluntarily. Upon investigation, remember the 2 socks I mentioned being in the pants legs of the jeans? Well, the socks contained various feet bones, and inside of the jeans were snapped shin bones. And then located in a pile about 12 feet away from the log were the skeletal remains of Charles McCuller. Due to the weathering and effects of nature, everything was dismantled and fragmented. However, enough of a dental record could be made to confirm his identity. However, despite finding his bodily remains, nothing else was located. None of his equipment, his boots, or any other articles of clothing were ever found. Even more bizarre.
Okay, what the fuck?
You see what I mean? That's why I wanted to show you this. Like,
so man, this motherfucker was just found with his bottom half sitting on a log. But not even the bottom half, just his bottom half of clothing. But then his ankle and feet bones were still there, but the rest of his bones weren't there.
And they were somewhere else.
They were in a different pile.
Yep.
Who? What kind of whack-ass fucking serial killer did that?
That's only the actions of a person. An animal couldn't do that.
Yeah, no. An animal absolutely would not be able to do that. 0 chance. What'd you miss? Not much.
Bizarre is that the location this was found in is an insanely remote
12 miles they must have walked for days? Hold on. I can walk a mile in 10 minutes. 6 miles.
It's
That's
12
like
miles.
2 hours.
If it tells you anything, I can run a mile in 8 minutes. I'm like,
That's it's not that far.
yeah,
That's a
12 miles
2 hour
is
walk.
not. We probably walked 12 miles just going to in LA. Walk around.
When we were at AX, we had like over 300,000 steps. So,
Fun fact: a kilometer is actually shorter than a mile.
yep. Are there more wheel or doors in the world, but then you go down a rabbit hole of questions like planes have wheels, but what do they do, or what did wait on
Yeah,
a
but
sip-
planes also have 4 doors, and then 2 doors inside, and then the hatch door. There's a lot more Yeah, no, do not go down the question of are there more doors or wheels in the world? That's the J Schlatt question.
my brain hurts.
Yeah.
Part off the trail, meaning that if Charles was lost and then trying to find
What
his
did
way
on
through the
September
snow,
1st?
there would be no reason for him to essentially scale an icy mountainside.
Great, now you're freaking out. No, just don't go to a national park. These are all national park things. Yeah,
Also, don't
fuck
go to North
nature.
America.
Yeah, also don't go to North America. I mean, for different reasons.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Don't
So,
go to Texas, especially.
I think what's actually making this finally something spooky that you've done is that you can't explain away all of this with logic.
I can't. I actually can't. If the fucking FBI, well, depends. Are the FBI are they hiding something in this regard or not? If the local police cannot properly explain it, I'm not gonna be able to explain it. If detectives can't, I'm not gonna be able to explain it. And again, these are all real. So, holy shit.
Keep going.
Only to put himself in a more remote and dangerous location. Keep in mind, at the time he went missing, everything was covered in several feet of snow as well. That specific location where he was found was originally suggested to go look back during the original search. However, they couldn't get any men or snowmobiles up there, so they figured reasonably there's no way Charles could have got up there. So what force compelled Charles to climb to his final resting place? And perhaps more importantly, what force put him there? There are cases of what's called paradoxical undressing, or whenever someone gets extremely hot or extremely cold, they begin to take off their clothes in a state of delirium. And while that would make sense for Charles in this case, why were his feet and legs still within his clothing? Or part of his legs still inside of his clothing? And then you have questions about where the boots went and why the top part of his body was separated from some of the parts of the lower part of his body. And even if you were to say an animal came and caused the disfigurement that the rescuers would later find, then how were the jeans still undone, upright, sitting on a log as if nothing bad had happened? It's a mystery to this day.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Cases that make the 411 so compelling.
As I said before, many of these cases involve young children.
I went missing for an hour. The police were called. Rookie skills, Charles. Yeah, fucking Charles, honestly, skill issue. What, couldn't get the cops called for you? Loser.
And it's not that they're young children that makes it odd, it's that they're young children who are then found in places they really shouldn't be. One example of this is Keith Parkins. Keith Parkins was a 2-year-old who went missing in...
Wait, hold on. I think I missed what he
said.
said.
Many of these cases involve young children.
Oh, okay.
It's not that they're young children that makes it odd, it's that they're young children who are then found in places they really shouldn't be. One example of this is Keith Parkins. Keith Parkins was a 2-year-old who went missing in Ritter, Oregon. Now, Ritter is an unincorporated community in rural Oregon, and it's very close to Umatilla National Forest. Keith was out playing with his brothers on his family's cattle ranch. Eventually, when they got called in for lunch, they noticed that he was missing, so they launched a search for him. A few hours later, 4 miles away, they found footprints, and then they had to follow those footprints for another several hours before eventually the next day, they found him face down on the ground, covered in scratches, alive, 12 miles from where he went missing. His explanation for the scratches was that a cat scratched him, but he had no explanation for how he covered 12 miles in less than 24 hours.
For a 2-year-old? That
for a
one!
2-year-old, yeah.
That is the weird part. What? The fuck? I don't think a 2-year-old could walk 12 miles in under 24 hours. What the fuck happened to the kid? I don't know. Did they snort a line of sugar and fucking went for a walk?
He was all covered in scratches too. I mean, you could explain that with maybe if he did somehow manage to cover that distance, that's just him getting scratched up by the terrain, right? But he was found face down in the mud. Like, was he sleeping? What was he doing? Was he just there? How did he clear 12? How did he clear 12 miles? Clearing 12 miles as a 2-year-old in less than 24 hours is just unfeasible, especially without sleep or rest or anything like that.
That makes zero sense. Like, again, we can do it in 2 hours. Whatever. A 2-year-old? No, absolutely not.
And of course, you know, people wanted to see, is that even possible? So Les Stroud from Survivor Man tried to do the exact same hike, tried to cover the same distance, and he could not do it. So to be clear, I want to really drive that point home.
Okay, you're just fucking stupid then.
It's the terrain standards. That's what I need to know.
A guy whose job is that they drop him in difficult terrain, and all he does is try and make his way to the extraction zone. He couldn't do this. So the idea that a 2-year-old feasibly could cover 12 miles of rough country in less than a day, it's just straight up impossible. But what about the ones that aren't necessarily just forests?
That's weird.
Well, one of the profile points is swamps. And a case that had quite a few people baffled is the case of Rowan Grifton, who went missing in a swamp in 2010. Rowan was 2 years old, and he was at a family party at his grandmother's house, which is directly across the street from Barden State Wildlife Management Area. Now, that's not a national forest, but it is a state wild...
Jesser, put the meth away. Stop cooking. Jesser.
You gave the wrong batch to the children, Jesse. There are only 2.
That wasn't rock candy, Jesse. That was the batch. That was supposed to go to Gus. Jesse.
What are you doing?
Area. New York is weird about the wildlife management areas. When we were doing our investigation,
so stupid.
Messick, the state game service, would not speak to us.
Oh.
Rowan was playing with a cat, and then the cat ran off into the woods. Rowan chased the cat and was eventually discovered to be missing. They launched an immediate search of the area, and then when they couldn't find him, they called...
I hate the term discovered to be missing. That's a little counterintuitive, isn't it? He was discovered to be missing. Well, no, he was just missing.
He was found to be missing. Yeah. That's what it means to be missing.
They searched for the rest of the afternoon before deciding to close down the search for the night because it just wasn't safe and they weren't going to make any progress. So, the next day, when they went out searching again, they did actually find him pretty quickly because they called out for him and he called back. But he was not found by the initial search group. He was found by a splinter group that decided to go check out a swampy area 3 miles away. All Rowan could tell people when they...
I'm now imagining a drug addict. Jesse, we have to cook here, in the attic. Jesse, that's not... Jesse, that's not an ashtray, that's Anne Frank.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude.
Jesse, put your cigarette away.
Hanging to a tree in the center of a pond in the swamp that this 2-year-old boy could not have possibly swam to. And by the way,
what?
He was dry. All he could tell them...
Oh yeah, found in the swamp 3 miles away dry. Oh yeah. I love how he just drops that. Oh, by the way, he was dry.
What? Huh? What?
2 years old in a swamp 3 miles away dry.
Yeah,
he was scared of the cows, and the cows drove him out to this tree.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Cows in the area. Rowan,
There were-
Thank you. Let him
said-
finish. There are no cows in the area.
He said that the cows scared him into the tree. There were no cows in the area. How the fuck did that happen? That's a great question. I don't know. Again, I like this shit so much more because, again, these are all real. Unexplainable, real cases. By cow, did he mean his mom?
He got
Oh
there
my
and
God.
said there weren't any cows.
One of the more interesting details, at least to me, about 411 cases
man.
is how they often happen to people who are incredibly prepared for whatever's happening.
That's also extremely weird. By the way, how do you feel about cowcanis?
I mean, it's all right.
I mean, they're pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's not bad, but like,
Hey, dude, when they add like the gloves and the leggings too, that are also the
I mean,
and then they have the
I think-
cowcania. Come on, dude, that shit's fucking great.
I'd rather just go with the tights tag. It's easier.
I mean, fair enough, but like, have you seen all the art of fauna like that? Like, come on, dude.
I haven't.
Man, I love fauna.
Man, I love fauna. I
Gonna
want
put
people to
that
make
hat on.
horror artwork of fauna. That's what I want.
I mean,
Like
there's a
weird,
bunch of
like,
goth
North American
artwork of
horror.
her.
And it creates a near state of
Like, I'm
panic
talking
that
like,
this could happen to them.
Like Navajo Indian artwork.
And for an
Oh,
example
what-
of
like-
that, look no
like
further
weird
than
eldritch
Aaron
deity.
Hedges.
'Cause I feel like you could do something really
Frequently
cool with
hiked
the
a
whole
mountain
like
range
deer antlers
famously
with
known
that.
as the Crazies, located
The
in the northern
Crazies.
Rocky Mountain range of Montana. On September 3rd of 2014,
Montana.
38-year-old Aaron went out
You know, it makes a lot of sense. They went missing in Montana. Who the fuck goes to Montana?
People that want to
on a
hunt.
hunting trip with two of his friends.
Oh.
Who goes to Montana? People that want to hunt. He went on a hunting trip. Okay. All right. You know, you don't have to immediately prove him right. Fucking God. How much would he pay me for a horror fauna?
Him and his friends did this all the time. They would go out on horseback.
I mean, I
bring all their
wouldn't.
gear on a pack mule, and then camp out for several days as they hunt big game. As a matter of fact,
'Cause
they
I
were
don't
so
like to-
experienced at doing this.
I have not paid for any porn commissions ever.
Well, I wouldn't even want it to be porn. I just want cool artwork. Like, have you ever been on what's her Twitter handle? Ecocider? Yeah, Juniper's
Juniper? Yeah.
Yeah, Juniper's Twitter. She does a bunch of cool like horror artwork with the whole moth thing.
I have yet to commission art of things that weren't me. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's like the major thing right now is that if I'm gonna actually go out of my way to spend money on artwork, I feel like I would want it for personal use.
At the moment. Later,
Montana, where is
though.
that? Montana is on the border of the U.S. to Canada. It's about in the center.
Yeah, so we don't really need it, but you know. God, it's oh, dude, did you hear that recently? Canada finally passed the population of the not United States. Finally passed the population of California. Canada, as a country, finally has more people than California.
More proof that we should just saw it off and call it its own thing.
Yes, California is large enough to be its own
What
country.
What was the meme I sent you this morning?
What the fucking...
Proposed wall around fuck Tardistan.
Yeah, fuck Tardistan, aka California, Washington, and what was it, Oregon?
Oregon,
Yeah.
The entire West Coast.
Fuck Tardistan. Dude, people in Seattle are not much better than people in
No,
California.
people in Seattle are worse. 100, like, you know what? The West Coast gets that. Congratulations, California, you're not Seattle.
Yeah, we're not Seattle. Yeah, let's go. We need to update the adult section of Five Nights at Freddy's. The female animatronics are rusting, mainly in the rectal area, and the adult section gears are getting... Oh, the adult section goers are getting tetanus. You mean...
No. If you say do you mean tinnitus?
No, that's the ear thing.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, are you about to be stupid?
Several of the trail routes on their own, and even set up these small waypoints that had supplies
Waypoints.
and camping gear in case they needed any on their trip. So if you're confident enough in your hiking abilities that you'll leave thousands of dollars of gear in the middle of safe houses that you built dozens of miles up mountainsides, you're probably pretty good at it. While moving up the mountain on September the 5th, the mule that was carrying everyone's gear became spooked, and whenever it jumped, it caused Aaron's sleeping bag to fall off its back and down the mountainside. Now, it gets very cold in the Rockies at night. However, this wasn't a problem because, as mentioned earlier, they had waypoints set up with spare supplies. So on September the 5th, Aaron began to travel by himself to one of the waypoints a few miles down the trail. This was towards a location known as Sunlight Lake. I cannot stress this enough, this was a trail that Aaron was very familiar with. He had built several permanent camping sites on it and left the group with a GPS, a walkie-talkie, a cell phone, a bow and arrow, and a gun. He began to walk away.
Okay. Yeah. No. How the what? How the fuck did he go missing?
Like I said, this doesn't feel like the actions of another person with how weird some of these get.
Yeah, no, like actually, he had a gun.
If they, I don't know if they're gonna talk about this in this video, but there's one case where a dude is climbing a mountain, like tethered on a mountainside to his buddies, where he's in the middle of one buddy who's at the end of the pack, and the other two are ahead of him. They feel like slack rope, and his carabiner is disconnected, and they just don't know where he went. Like, he just absolutely disappeared in between an entire group of people, none of his gear, just all that's left there is his carabiner. That's all that's left on the thing. It's like, you know how, like you attach, there's a carabiner on the line, and then you attach yours to the line, it's just his. Like it was ripped off of him, and he's just gone.
I
With two
see.
others saying that he would be back by nightfall, and Aaron was never seen again.
Again, a phone, a GPS, fucking what? He had a bottle of water or some shit, a
Phone,
gun.
GPS, food, water, gun, and a bow.
Yeah, gun and a bow, GPS, multiple ways of contact, a walkie-talkie and a phone, and he's just not found. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? How?
Dude, I'm telling you, 411 is probably my favorite of the like true missing persons.
What?
Whenever Aaron
Like,
had
you
shown
understand
up,
why I thought
he
this
didn't
wasn't
think
real when I
he was
first
big
heard about it,
enough.
right?
Figured
Yeah.
He probably stayed in the safe house for the night. However, when there was no word from him the next day, they began to panic. Especially whenever they go to check his location on the GPS, because the day previous they weren't able to get the GPS to show his location. And whenever the location did pop up, he was miles and miles away, completely off the map from the selected trail area. So the two come off the mountain and alert Aaron's wife, who then alerts the police, and a search begins on September the 8th. The first day they looked with the whole 9 yards. They had infrared cameras, they had about 20 dog teams scoping out the entire mountain, and helicopters flying everywhere trying to find Aaron. However, nothing was found the first day. But on the second day, something was found that raised more questions than it did answers. On the second day, while walking to the location to begin the search for that day, search crews stumbled across what seemed to be a makeshift campfire where it seems someone had tried to start a fire with a pack of cigarettes. Nearby this makeshift campfire,
What? Hold on. Tried to start a fire with a cigarette.
They're trying to use it as tinder, is what he's trying to say. Not as
water bladder,
a lighter.
a pair of straps for a waistband for a hiking backpack, and a pair of boots, all of which belonged to Aaron. The boots were lying side by side, neatly standing up, as if someone had calmly taken them off and placed them next to the fire. But then, in the middle of the Montana
Fire, light the fire.
cold, decided to not put them back on. And once again, this was in a location that wasn't even being searched because it had been completely searched the day before. Not only that, but it was further down the mountain than the location where Aaron would have gone missing. So for all this to have worked out, Aaron would have had to walk one direction for several miles for his GPS location to show up, walk the other way but then miss the group who was looking for him, and then attempt to start a fire one night in a location that was searched shortly thereafter, only to then take off his boots and try to walk through the cold barefoot. Not to mention the dog teams that were running around the entire place and can never pick up a scent. So despite this, which should have been a great break in the case, nothing else was found. At least, nothing was found for 9 months. Until in June of 2015, a hiker discovered the backpack of Aaron Hedges. Inside of this backpack, the hiker discovered a cell phone, a hunting vest, extra clothes, a hunting license, and several granola bar wrappers, all of which belonging to Aaron Hedges. However, a short distance from that,
but not his gun. Again, the gun.
Probably still on him.
that backpack, and potentially the weirdest development of the whole case, the hiker found sitting on top of a rock a thermos and an open energy drink. The family later saying that this thermos belonged to Aaron. This location was on top of the mountain that not only had a very clear view of the ranch beneath, but also of a major roadway right in front of the ranch. And it seems that when Aaron was drinking from that thermos and the energy drink, he was just sitting on the rock watching the road and the farm in front of him. And despite another massive investigation from the spot that this gear was found, no remains were located.
It is possible. I was looking for my parents and looked at a sign and realized I was going the wrong direction, turning around and missing my parents, who were looking for me.
It's possible to miss people, what, with dogs out there looking for his scent?
Yeah,
Like,
dogs
literally.
sent, helicopters everywhere, infrared cameras off the ass. That's really hard.
Especially
That
when it's in the
was
middle of the
until 1
cold.
year later,
Mhm.
when the skeletal remains of Aaron Hedges were finally discovered.
After
They were found
2
about
years.
half a mile down the hillside from the location where his gear was found the year prior. This was about 6 miles from where the makeshift campfire and boots were discovered, and about 15 miles from the last place where his friends saw him. And to make it even more bizarre, the remains were found a few hundred feet from the road and the ranch. And just in
What
case you
the
thought we'd
fuck?
get any answers, there were no cause of death determined from the bones that were found. There was no trauma on any of the bones or any indications of an injury that could have led to his death. For all we know, he simply died there with no earthly explanation. So think about this case. An experienced hiker begins to walk to a location that he's incredibly familiar with. However, he walks the completely wrong direction and then comes back in the wrong direction before he decides to take his boots off, walk another 6 miles to a mountaintop where he calmly sits down and has a coffee and energy drink before he leaves his backpack. And it seems that he was not only energized from the drinks, but also the granola wrappers he was eating, walks half a mile, and dies right before he hits the road. A lot of people online say that he passed into a different dimension, which, sure, I've got nothing better.
You know what? Same. I'ma be real. What the fuck? How? Literally how? No one saw him. How? He was out. The marked locations, besides one of them, were out in the open. Any fucking helicopter would have seen him. How the fuck did that happen? Hypothermia might be a reason for the missing clothes. Well, I understand how he could have died. I just don't understand how he was completely missing.
It's a story
Oh,
that
search
really
parties
makes you
missed
ask,
him. He took
what
off his
happened?
clothes. He managed to survive 9 months on the supplies he had. Still had coffee and an energy drink. Made it right before the road and passed away. A year later.
Yeah, bullshit.
The real damning part of this is that it was 2 years until he was found dead.
In the woods when we're not looking.
Some other cases I want to mention that they didn't really exemplify any of these individual profile points, but I thought that they were interesting, were those of Maurice Doc Demetz, who went missing while topaz hunting in Pike National Forest. He was there with his friend, and this is another case where this was a person who was physically disabled. He had a very time walking on his own. He was, I believe, 82 years old.
Also, when you end the stream, you might want to add this video to the description.
Oh yeah.
Going anywhere fast. His friend, after a few hours, went to check on him because they were just topaz hunting 50 yards from each other, and he checked on him a few times, but the last time he went to check, Maurice wasn't there anymore, and nobody at all could find him. There's no way this guy wandered off on his own, and they determined there was no motive for the guy who was with him to have killed him. So, very strange case. There's the case of Eric Lewis, who went missing while hiking.
Old man just fucking vanishes.
Oh no, never going to any national parks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Bro, fucking imagine looking over at your friend, going back to your hunting, looking over again, and he's just... Where'd he go?
Hello?
Like, where'd he go? The fuck? 80 years old. Yeah, dude, gonna be off anyways.
Particularly climbing Mount Rainier. They were ice climbing. He and his two friends, they know.
Okay,
Here's
okay.
This is the one, and you're gonna get the more precise thing because I might have gotten some details wrong.
You already have an issue by saying they went ice climbing. That is dangerous as fuck.
Noticed that they hadn't heard anything from him in a while, and when they pulled on the rope that would have gone down to him, it was slack. Eric seemingly just disappeared off the side of the mountain. He had unhooked his carabiner, and that was the last thing anybody could figure out that he had actually done. His clothes and gear were found in a small ice cave a little bit down the mountain, and that was it. That was the end. They could not find him, and the ice cave either did not go back far enough or was not navigable enough for them to look into it. There's also the case of Paul LeMay, who went missing on Mount Marathon. Now, Mount Marathon is, of course, in Kenai Fjords National Park.
Oh, it's in the what national park? What? Huh?
Kenai Fjords.
Mount Marathon is, of course, in Kenai Fjords National.
Kenai Fjord? Kenai Fjord National Park? Oh, where the fuck is that one?
Park. So he was running the Mount Marathon race. He was the last person to be running the race. He was.
Honestly, it's so easy to go missing in Alaska. Eric no
yeah,
clips.
But
he went spectator mode.
Slash spectator.
Yeah.
No, it's easy to go missing in Alaska. Yeah, it's easy to go missing in Alaska when you're at a marathon that's monitored by a bunch of people and also being ran by a bunch of people and spectated.
No, it's just giving a general statement of it's easy to go missing in Alaska.
Well, yeah, when you're in dense wilderness, Canada is also easy to go missing in.
Canada is, like, most of it's unlivable. Gotta love Canada, am I right? We only took Alaska because of what? The fucking telescope?
We took Alaska because of Russia. That's why we took Alaska.
No, we took Alaska because I'm pretty sure a fucking telescope.
I don't know, man.
English is my second language. I know it, I'm in progress to learn it. For some reason, I understood all the words he said, but I really couldn't find the head of sentence. Wait, what? Couldn't find the head of sentences, he said. Wait, what?
Marathon. Now, Mount Marathon is, of course, in Kenai Fjords National Park.
Kenai Fjord.
He was running the Mount Marathon race. He was the last
Hi, how's it
person
going?
running the race.
Hello.
Very close to the finish line by the.
Hello, Abdullah.
He decided he wanted to make it all the way and then come back down, and he was never seen. They searched all over the mountain, every side, and
When one sentence starts and when it ends.
there was
Well,
no
it's
evidence.
because the reasoning because of that is
Finally, the case
generally
of
they're
Paul
reading off a
Pryor, who
script,
went
so
missing
they
in
have
Reed's
topic to
Lake
topic to
in
topic to
Yukon
topic to
territory.
topic.
This was not in a national park or national forest.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in an extremely isolated
Bam.
area that you actually had to fly to. He was
Excuse me?
brought in via an.
Hold on, Alter. I don't know if you should ask somebody if they're in a Kazakhstani mine or an African mine.
For future reference, that's not how we welcome people. But it was funny.
Newt, have you seen my fucking location?
No.
My Twitter location is, I don't know, some mine in Kazakhstan.
To pick him up at the scheduled time.
Never mind.
Was not there. There was no sign that
What, our fan name is Miners? Yep.
or attacked while he was there, but he just
Bro.
disappeared. His food was still all packed up at the campsite. There was a bag that had an impression on it that made it look like somebody might have been sitting on it, leaning back, you know, maybe waiting for game to come along. And of course, Bart was a world-class hunter. This is a guy who would track and tag Siberian tigers. And I mean, the idea that a bear in the Yukon would catch him off guard enough to kill him without any sign of struggle just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you said the fucking tiger hunter got murked? By what? Not
Beings outside of this realm.
Not just any tiger. A Siberian tiger. Those motherfuckers are so massive. They're built like bears, but are faster. What the fuck did this guy die from?
On top of that, if it were a bear, a mountain lion, a pack of wolves...
It's not a fucking mountain lion. No way. Zero chance. You're gonna tell me that a motherfucking mountain lion is gonna kill a human? Sure.
With a gun. A human with a gun.
I mean,
This
that
is
too,
human.
but
This
bears
is human.
can kill with one good hit. Yeah, but being snuck up on by a bear when you hunt tigers, you know, the ones that are like camouflaged? Minor equal kid. No, minor. Minor is a kid. A miner is somebody that mines for like minerals and whatnot.
You gotta also understand this about the bear thing. Bears aren't stealth creatures.
Yeah, they're
They're-
loud.
So walking around a dense forest as a bear isn't the most quiet thing ever, especially when you have somebody who hunts tigers who needs to listen for that stuff.
And again, a Siberian tiger, which is so fucking big. Look at that thing, dude. You see that?
Mhm.
Like, no way. No
Something like
fucking
that,
way.
They probably would have also gone for the food that was...
Mountain lions would rather avoid people. Yes, you are completely correct.
That too. The food that was in his pack, why was it not teared out if there was a bear that attacked him, right?
was left at his campsite. Since that was untouched, it seems very unlikely that he was a victim of animal predation. So that just about covers all the profile points and a number of cases that exemplify them. Once again, I'm Aiden Mattis of the Lore Lodge. You can find us here on YouTube, and I'll toss it back to Isaiah to go over some more details.
A lot of the missing 411 cases are entirely unexplainable, not only because of the condition in which remains or some evidence was eventually found, but just in the way that the entire thing kicked off. And I want to end this set of stories with one such case, that case being of Garrett Bardsley.
This one's pretty good.
That is a massive gap. That's a really big gap.
What, in his munchers?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Holy shit, dude. I think I can
the Grand Canyon?
skate over that.
You got the Grand Canyon in his munchers.
On August the 20th of 2004,
Everyone in this chat shall go to the mines every day for 3 hours for the rest of their lives. No. Everybody in the chat lives there. Bear spray.
You get to leave?
He looks like the Home Alone kid.
Garrett was out with
Yeah,
his
you're
father,
right.
No.
Boy
No.
Scouts
Come on.
of 2000
No, he looks like the grown-up version of him. That also the fucking Home Alone VHS tape I got from the Dollar Tree.
Dude, the Home Alone kid at Street. What's his name?
That's what you're going off of?
2004.
Who cares? Oh my
With
god.
his father on a Boy Scouts camping trip. Garrett was 12 years old and was out with his father and Boy Scout troop on a weekend getaway. This was in the Uinta Mountains of Utah at a place known as Cubaret One Lake. Now, in several of the cases that Aiden and I have talked about up until this point, it involves an experienced person going into an uncharted realm of nature or someone getting trapped in the harsh elements. However, this situation was neither of those things. The location where Garrett and his father were camping was essentially a sort of park. There were
Garrett
several
and his
lots that were
father.
set up where groups could
and his
come
father.
and pitch a few tents and have access to hiking trails and lakes to fish in, and everything was very close and very easy going. Again, it was a common space to bring out campers so that they can have their first Boy Scout camping trip. All the trails were cut out and very clearly marked to the point it was essentially a sidewalk. And on top of all of that, Garrett had his wilderness survival training. So if anything did happen out here, it should essentially be a cakewalk. Garrett and his father walked to the lake that was just downhill from their camping spot. While they were fishing, Garrett slipped and fell into the water, soaking his pants and shoes. Garrett decided to walk back to the tent so that he could change, and then he told his father he would come back down in just a minute to continue fishing. His father didn't think anything of it, because not only, as I mentioned, were the trails clearly marked and it was all a very easy path to walk on, but the campsite was about 200 feet away from where they were currently fishing. If it wasn't for a little bit of tree cover, you could have a straight line of sight from the side of the bank to the campsite. The dad, being overly cautious, even directed his son as his son was walking away to stay on the marked path and followed him with his eyes until he got up to the tree line. Meaning at the last point Garrett was seen, he could have been within like 50 feet of the tent. So Garrett's dad continued fishing, but after about 20 minutes, he thought it was odd that Garrett hadn't come back to join him. So his dad comes up to the campground to check, and it turns out that Garrett never made it back to the camp. And as a matter of fact, Garrett was never seen again, remains or otherwise. It seems in just a few brief seconds even that Garrett was walking through the tree line, something took him off the trail. Either his own curiosity or something in the woods or something by force got him to leave the clear path.
Bro got fucking snatched.
A massive search was mounted, and the only evidence of Garrett that was ever found was about half a mile off the trail in a granite boulder patch. One of his wet socks was discovered, simply lying there crumbled up in a massive field of rocks. Even from the location where the sock was found, the main road was a quarter mile away, and there were so many campsites and roads all around the area, it's almost as if Garrett, or whatever had Garrett, was purposefully avoiding people. And despite efforts from search and rescue, dog teams, and horseback riders searching the area, nothing was ever found. Not even the fishing pole that Garrett took with him. And to this day, nothing more is known of what happened to Garrett Bardsley.
And to this day, Garrett is still fishing.
And he had the braces are still on.
There's still a gap between his teeth.
With several of these 411 cases, it boggles the mind to even try to come up with some explanation. Of course, that doesn't mean everything that's labeled as a 411 case is completely unexplainable. A point could be made in several of these cases that it was just someone out hiking who got too far in over their head. Or someone who just got lost and then nature does what nature does. However, that doesn't explain some of the weird circumstances or some of the gear found or how the remains were uncovered. Another theory is that people say it could be a serial killer or the police covering up for some murder they don't want on the public record. But even then, in a lot of these cases, like that of Aaron Hedges, even if he was killed, then how did that person leave all the gear, evade search and rescue team, and get the remains in the places they were found? People tie a lot of these theories into government conspiracies and say that it all relates back to MK Ultra.
You know, that sounds like a great explanation. All right, we're going MK Ultra here. Okay, there, bud.
Like how I accidentally got lost in a 7-Eleven.
Have you ever been lost in a Sears? Because I remember getting
That
lost
place
in a
is huge.
Sears.
That was
Yeah,
scary.
no, Sears is fucking massive, dude. Like,
I
holy
mean, Sears
shit.
is closed. I mean,
Oh
Sears
yeah,
doesn't
they're all
exist
gone
anymore.
now. But dude, Sears is such a big place.
We've been
We don't
lost
have
in
it here.
IKEA.
What would an equivalent be? Just
Rooms
a
to go.
department store. Have you ever been lost in a department store? Or
Like a big department store though, like a super Walmart. Like you ever been in those huge WalMarts?
I don't know if this is also racist to say or not. I don't really think it is, but have you ever been lost in a flea market?
I've never really been to a flea market.
Well, I'm talking to the Southeast Asians. Rookie skills. The flea markets here are just multiple buildings connected together, and yes! All right, you know, it's not racist if I'm correct, right?
It's people are like, it's a stereotype. It's not a stereotype if it's right.
Yeah, it's not a stereotype if it's like actively correct.
I'm not assuming.
I'm not
knowing.
assuming, I just like kind of know.
Yeah.
Learn more English in the mine, slacking off. No one learns English to mine uranium. God, imagine I get a live 2D model and like part of the lore is just munching on uranium.
Oh, crunch. Bag of chips. That's just uranium.
Dude, I'm fucking snacking on element 115.
With a lot of these stories, people say that maybe the government.
God, 115
has
is such a
these
good
top
song.
secret facilities set up
Yes.
in the middle of the woods, and if anyone finds evidence of it, they're wiped out and their body made to look like a mystery. And while that sounds crazy, with some of the stories you've probably heard today and will hear in the future, it's probably the most plausible. Perhaps some of the most interesting stories to me are stories of delirium and paranoia that sets in. Because while we can wrap our head around that in a physical sense, we understand that people can essentially go crazy.
Crazy?
It's the things that made them go crazy.
Crazy? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to. That was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room full of rats. And rats make me crazy. Hey.
I'm just gonna stare disappointed.
And you get pet. How do you feel? All sounds like something that came out of a horror movie. No. Funny enough, if this came out of a horror movie, it would be like really dumb. But okay, so what I mean by that is if there is a horror movie, they usually come up with like an absurd plot that has a lot of plot holes in it that make no real sense. And they're also just not real. So
Yeah, well, your horror movie, you have the disconnect that it's not real.
yeah, I have a complete disconnect of it not being real. With these are real. That makes it horrifying, in my opinion. I remember my first time getting delirium. I was in 2nd grade and my temperature was apparently 42.
42 degrees Celsius, man. Give me a second.
Hold on, we have to freedom unit. Okay, there we go. 107 degrees. Thank you for freedom converting it, okay? God bless
Celsius.
America.
1 second.
What the hell is a kilometer?
And the
Yeah,
reason
you know,
for it that I
fucking
find to be so
centimeter
wrong,
looking ass.
because what
Shoe.
power does force hold to drive a
I
mind
only go
mad
by
in such a
inches.
small amount of time? Of course, several of
I know
these
you only
can
go by
be written
inches.
off has the effects of a wild animal, attacking someone or either discarding their pieces across a large distance.
Lucky to be
That
alive.
doesn't answer questions like the bones of
I mean,
Charles being found in
did he have like
the
medicine?
But then again, at that point, what does?
Or, like,
if it's not
No, he's
water?
Southeast Asian.
See, that's the racism here, alright? Okay. I hate malaria and monsoon season.
Monsoon season.
No, monsoon season, that's a completely, like, real thing. I just
And
love,
it will come.
I
Like
just-
a flood of rain.
love malaria season. Oh, you know, casually everybody over here gets malaria. Sounds good to me.
one that we don't know exists. Whenever I hear about these stories,
Monsoon? Think of like if a
So there's this guy that splits up into
Shut
several
the
pieces.
fuck
He's a
up.
boss in the Metal Gear Revengeance.
think of like a wacky water tornado hybrid thing.
It's like a hurricane and a tornado happened at once.
Yeah, and it was like all filled with water too. It said "screw you."
Sharknado.
Think about a
Sharknado.
lot of the ancient legends.
More of a
that have
shark
to do with
soon.
The Rocky Mountains.
Shark
Appalachian
soon.
Mountains. Stories of siren
Oh, shark
spirits
later.
that exist out in the woods that
I'll
pull
shark you
into
later.
only to never be seen again. And stories of creatures that rise up in the night and make them vanish from their
Creature.
tents, only to be found horribly mutilated several days later. And while it may not be some siren spirit or monster of the woods, whatever did it then is surely still doing it now. Things like that are easy for me to forget because I grew up in the forest. It's always been something that I've...
You grew up in the forest? What the fuck?
I knew you were gonna say something about I grew up in the forest.
Yeah, what are you, a fucking elf? What the fuck?
I grew up. You see, I grew up in the forest. Do not piss off the
I
Fae.
grew up in a forest, eh?
viewed as a
Do
friend
not piss
or
off the
something
Fae.
personal to me that I've never really found scary. At least,
I never really found getting mauled by a wild animal to be very scary, you know? I'm kind of used to that. My neighbor, yeah, he walked into the woods, saw that bitch get fucking destroyed by a tiger.
L.
L, yeah, no, I started default dancing on his corpse when the fucking tiger was
He
finished.
dropped all of his items.
Yeah, he dropped all of his items, got all of his XP. Did I get muted or what? I don't see my messages popping up. No, sometimes YouTube is
No.
just like cringe and will be cringe.
during the daytime. And since it's something I've always known, it's never been the unknown. And because of that, since the unknown is where we derive most of our fear, it's never been something I've been afraid of. And because of that, it's easy for me to forget that there is this secret might and power that exists within the woods. Every single piece of it is alive, from the trees and the grass and the creatures that inhabit them to even the air you breathe in. It feels electric. It's as if every moment that you stand within nature, you are existing within a living creature. And if you ever lose sight or respect of that, you may be the next victim.
Okay, that is a very good statement. That is an extremely good statement of, if you are in the woods, you're in the forest, you're in nature in general, everything around you is alive. Don't take that. How do word? Fuck.
Don't take it for granted. Don't abuse the forest. Don't just sit there and be like,
Don't get
it'll be
cocky.
fine." Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah, don't get cocky in the forest. You will die. Overconfidence in
It's
a place
slow
like
and
that.
insidious killer.
Oh boy, overconfidence will fucking kill you.
That's really what it boils down to, right? The fear of the unknown. That's why these stories terrify us and keep us up at night, because they seem to be so unexplainable. And as
I mean,
someone
real,
who's
yeah.
familiar with the mystique and the mystery of
I don't want to touch grass anymore. Joke's on you, I don't touch grass.
Anymore.
My family and friends keep me on a leash because I constantly get lost. My brain not braining right now. Brain is brain of brain. Yep.
forests I never want to lose.
Oh yeah,
sight
did
of
you
why
did you
this
get that
overload
video,
in the
Newt?
first place. And that's one of the
Which one?
reasons that I'm here right now. A few of you may be
The
wondering
one that was
why
recommended.
I've had a change of venue, and that's because I'm at the ocean. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I'm deathly terrified of the ocean and everything to do with it. So to make it even worse for myself, I came out here at night, and I'm not doing well. The reason that I came out here is because for me, the woods and the mysteries of the woods and everything associated with them don't really mean anything. The tide is coming up to my legs, okay. Because again, I was raised in it. To me, it's perfectly normal. However, something I am terrified of is the nature I don't know. See, I was never raised near the beach. I only came to the beach on vacation. For me, the ocean was a boogeyman I never interacted with, and it still is to some degree. But it's for the
Nice pause.
Why the fuck did he go to the ocean then?
that very reason that the ocean interests me as much as it does. Because in spite
I wonder where the fuck this guy lives, because a ocean creature could totally fuck
Texas.
him up. Did you just say Texas?
Yes.
What fucking ocean did this motherfucker go to?
I don't know, man.
Did he fly to go to an ocean? Because Texas is as landlocked as it fucking gets.
Probably.
Where the fuck did he go?
But
Is
that's
he-
just not. He's not in his normal studio, by the way.
Oh, okay, but like, where? Okay, you know what? Never mind. Texas.
Yeah. Do you know where Texas is?
I
how
forgot
big
where
it is?
Mexico got cut off.
Yeah, I can tell because I was like, it borders the Gulf of Mexico. That's literally what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it
like-
does border the Gulf of Mexico. Never mind. Well, whatever.
of
I love how
afraid I
good
am
you
of it,
are
and
at
in spite of how
geography.
terrifying of it,
Yeah.
it exists regardless. And
I don't
it's
pay
so
attention to
interesting
geography.
to me, the terrors and the fascination that I can pull out of it. And in a sense, the ocean and the woods are one. It's all
I am honestly horrified of the forest.
The ocean scares me more than the woods.
The woods scare me because I don't know what thing could fucking kill me in the forest.
I don't know what can kill me in the ocean either. We know less about the ocean than we know about goddamn space.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of humans than the ocean or woods. I mean, that's just like,
Yeah. Well, cities
You
are
know.
more comforting to me than countrysides.
oh yeah, no, for sure. But like, man,
part
man.
of nature. It's all part of this great big beast.
At
that we're
least
all
it's
living in,
not
and we can't
Ohio.
really explain, or we can't really. I swear I heard something run up. Oh man, it's all part of something
Yeah, heard something run up.
we can't wrap our heads around, and it exists in spite of how we feel about it. The reason I'm here is because as I go through this series and as I talk about Missing 411, I don't want to lose the terror or the majesty of these stories and why I feel they're so important. Because they're a blemish across our history of trying to figure out everything that we can't put together, and that blemish is nature itself. So if you're like me and the woods don't scare you, but this does, it's all part of the same beast.
Any suggestions for things to test? I mean, what are some common ones? There's the fear of reptiles, fear of insects, fear of heights, the ocean, the forest, the dark.
Big words. I love the big word phobia because the guy who made it just.
Yeah,
oh my
whoever
God.
made the phobia of big words is a fucking jackass. Because the phobia of big words is a big word.
Hate spiders. I can't do them.
Motherfucker said nope 6 times.
So as hopefully over the coming series we put some pieces together about what
Nope.
the secret of
Nope.
missing 411
Nope.
means,
Nope.
maybe we
Nope.
can get some
All
closure
humans are
on
afraid of the
things like
unknown to an
this.
extent.
Probably
Yeah.
not. I hate it. I'm incredibly nervous right now. But if you made
Was
it
that
this
like
far into the video,
phasmophobia?
I just want to say thank you for watching. I am horrified right now. I think I'm actually here past curfew, and I'm not supposed to be here, and I keep hearing people walking around in the darkness. So I'm going to call this short, but I just want to say thank you so much for watching.
I am doing something very illegal right now. People
And then
are
posting it on the
approaching.
internet.
People are approaching my location at a rapid pace. I'm gonna cut this video short. Anyway, have a good day, people. What a fucking wacko. Fear of words that can be spelt the same way forward and backward.
So that covers that. I will be continuing this.
Is
What I
that
have in mind for
like
upcoming
real?
episodes in the series
Yeah, that's real.
is to take
So why the
cases that
fuck is it
involve
spelt
caves,
forward and
and
backwards?
cases that involve mountaintops and other
Hee
weird anomalies.
That's why.
Something jumped. Other weird anomalies that exist between everything, and then trying to draw a through line between them.
Anomaly.
So we'll see how that
Remember
goes.
that
And
guy?
again, this was
That
mostly an
CS:GO guy?
introduction, but hopefully
Yeah.
you enjoyed it. I'm excited for where this series
still
is
around.
going. And keep
Yeah.
your eye out. I may be visiting some locations, considering, as mentioned earlier, I live pretty close to a lot of the scares that happen. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And I will
Oh, no,
see
he lives in
you
North
the
Carolina.
next one.
Oh.
Bye.
He's just in Texas a lot.
This is horrific.
This is horrific.
I'm gonna do the ocean mysteries 1, 2.
Hold on, I love this. I love this. After all of that, Linus thing right here that just says touch grass.
What's the ocean one right there?
Most terrifying ocean mysteries.
What's the one next to it?
Man who stepped off the earth. Shall we go into that one?
Cool.
Chris McCandles. What, he just fucking... The Boys on the Tracks in a 35-year cover-up? Dennis Martin, where did he go? Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, no, go back, go back, go back.
What?
cave-
Hello, everybody.
The cave one was the best one.
Is it here?
Yeah.
What?
Top right. Top
Top
right.
right?
corner.
M Cave and disappearance of Kenny Veach. Frog Boys? What's the Frog Boys? Hold on. Mystery Flesh Pit National Park?
It's an ARG. It's an ARG.
This is
He does a
what
lot of
goes-
things on analog horror and ARGs, as well as religion and conspiracy theories. That's what Wendy Goon's whole thing is, basically.
Oh.
He did an entire FNAF breakdown. Multiple, actually.
The Lore Lodge.
Yeah.
Story about bad vibes. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge.
Bad vibes. Okay. Okay there, bud. Missing kids case. Frog Boys missing kids case. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold. Frog Boys missing.
Island Boys.
Oh, Frog Boy. The disappearance of Frog Boys. South Korea. What the fuck are the Frog Boys? Is there like a channel that's like good that would talk about this? All these channels look like shit. Like what is CNA Insider?
I have no clue. Probably just a news type channel.
You look like you could get a job at BuzzFeed. I don't want to click on your video. Why did you... Okay, you know what? Whatever. I can't find a good one. They collect frogs and suddenly went missing. They probably got murked by a serial killer.
They probably got murked by the frogs. They were done with it.
No, like genuinely, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think someone just killed them. On a mountain? Yeah. Like think about this. If you see a bunch of kids consistently go to a place to collect frogs and they're alone, and you always know that they will go up this specific area, don't you think that's like free kills?
Add to the kill count. My
Yeah.
KDA.
Gotta pad that KDA on children, you know? Ah, it was fucking Ted Bundy. Knew it. Tedu Bunude.
Tedu Bunute.
No, that one I feel like could be explained reasonably. Just reading off of this a little bit. Left without a trace, though. Impressive.
On November 10th, 2014, a man named Kenny Veach set off from his Las Vegas, Nevada home to explore a vast, beautiful wilderness in the Mojave Desert in a search for a mysterious cave that he allegedly had found at some point prior to this. The 47-year-old was active on YouTube more as a commenter than a video maker, and he got himself down a really weird rabbit hole that involves caves, government...
I know about this one! Wait! Oh my fucking god! Okay, honestly, I just saw that photo and I was like, wait, that looks familiar. M Cave. Hold on! Wait!
Conspiracies, a lot of people have talked about aliens, and nobody is quite particularly sure what happened to Kenny Veach. But we're going to tell you the story as it's available to us now, 8 years later. Kenny was a 47-year-old man, a bit of an artist, eccentric but in a charming way, not the sort of weird that makes
I remember when this guy went missing.
sort of weird
That was
makes you wanna
such
hate.
huge
Out of the
news.
5 videos posted to Kenny's YouTube channel, Snakebit McGee, 3 of them are actually just Shark Tank pitches, and they're for creative, if somewhat tchotchke-like products. One is a glolar bear, which is a glowing polar bear meant to bring awareness to the climate situation in the Arctic. Another is an advanced toilet paper roll holder that is spring-loaded, and honestly, I kind of want one. That seems very valuable. And then there's other miscellaneous ones, a video about his life as something of a denim cowboy, and the M Cave hike. And to understand why Kenny made the M Cave hike video, we've got to dig into some of his YouTube commentary. You see,
Gotta
Kenny was
sleep
really
in the
interested
mines.
in aliens, and not in a I have an abduction story kind of way. More of a he found them interesting, and of course living within 3 hours of Area 51, that's kind of the UFO capital of the world. Kenny
Oh,
got
yeah.
a lot of his information about aliens from YouTube, and one channel that he seems to have frequented was called
He got most of his info from YouTube. Alright.
That's how you consume info on the internet. Shut up.
No, I'm talking about aliens. Like, come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Come on, dude. By the way, I just found a fucking amazing sticker. All it says is, I can piss better than you.
Show it.
Serious Disclosure. And Serious Disclosure is a channel dedicated to cooperation with the extraterrestrials. They say they're interested in developing a peaceful relationship with the aliens, hopefully to avoid something like Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
One of the videos on the Serious Disclosure's channel is called Son of an Area 51 Technician, and the story is just basically this guy going on to talk about what his father disclosed to him while he was drunk. Kenny left a comment on that channel on that particular video.
At 12
reading the
o'clock in
following.
Mexico,
"This
it's
ain't
gonna be
nothing.
time to
I'm
work
a
again.
long-distance hiker.
Back
One
to the
time, on one of
mine."
my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to that cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, and I just need to pause there. Kenny, my guy. You're not supposed to enter every cave you find, especially.
That too.
This isn't Minecraft, Kenny.
Yeah, no. I remember hearing that quote and just being like, what?
Yeah, I have to enter every cave I can find. It's just a rule.
Imagine you're like walking with this motherfucker to like Yellowstone.
Cave.
It's like,
gotta go
there's a fucking cave there. Gotta go inside of it.
Especially not when you're solo hiking and nobody knows exactly where you are. For anybody watching this, if you ever have the urge to enter a cave alone on an uncharted route when nobody knows your precise location, don't do that.
You know, if you're feeling like dying today, maybe don't. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people sometimes, I swear. I just had the urge to go into the cave when nobody at all knows exactly
This weird
where I
cave
am.
that nobody knows where I am. I just wanted to go in there. It was so cool.
But he goes on. As I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me. Now, when you make a claim about vibrating M-shaped caves on the internet is going to do what the internet does, which is demand that you prove it. As someone who regularly makes outrageous claims on the internet, I am quite familiar with this process.
Okay, this guy's great. This guy's fucking awesome. Lore Lodge, man, you're fucking funny. As someone who also makes outrageous claims on the internet, I am familiar with this process. If you check the time in Mexico, I'm actually giving the miners a reasonable time to sleep. About 20 minutes.
About
Now,
20
this
minutes.
comment was posted about 4 months before Kenny actually went on his infamous M Cave hike video trip. And throughout those 4 months, there was a bit of an argument in the comments section, with people going back and forth, Kenny getting defensive, and I'll read you some more of his comments. But the man was not to be denied. He was positive that he had seen this cave, and he was adamant that this experience was real. To some, the way that Kenny's comments read come across as egotistical or arrogant. To others, they might just sound like somebody who is defensive of a story of something true that happened to them, and now they feel as though, without any evidence to the contrary, they're being devalued or misrepresented. Kenny goes on to say the following. I solo hike across mountaintops that most people wouldn't dare go. I've been in more caves than I care to count. I play with rattlesnakes for fun, but this one particular cave was beyond anything I had ever encountered. Someday I will go back and I will bring a weapon with me. All I had at the time was a knife and a wrist wrap. Eventually, Kenny did commit to going to do another trip.
It was so loud, wasn't it? And it scared the shit out of me.
To everybody, once and for all, that he was telling the truth, and he said the following. Maybe it's just a strange-looking cave that has a mountain lion living in it. It should be sometime this week. I'll have my 9mm with me this time, just in case. Last time, I was unarmed. It's a 10-hour hike, no trails, very dangerous terrain. The mountain is located right next to a bombing range. While I deeply respect Kenny's adventurous spirit, literally everything he says here is a no-go. Don't do it. I am not trying to...
10-hour hike through dangerous terrain where I need to bring a gun. That's right next to a bombing range. Also, M-shaped cave vibrating.
The fuck? What? Don't go near the vibrating cave that's a 10-hour hike next to a bombing range.
disrespect him, but
I'm not gonna lie, there probably wasn't any animals in there.
I have found some giant
Probably.
empty rounds of ammo before. I have just been waiting for the Vegas weather to cool down. It's not the kind of hike one would do in the summer, which is a good point, because this area of the Mojave can reach 130 degrees in the summer, and that's just not good for somebody with a complexion like mine or Kenny's. And to take that segue, Kenny was a lot like me. He was about 5'8". He had brown hair,
Yikes.
wore a lot of denim. That's a little bit of a difference between the two of us, but athletic guy, pretty handsome, you know, like I said, just like me. Although I will say, for a man who was 47 years old, he was definitely in better shape than I think I will be at that age, and a bit skinnier than me. I gotta work on that for the sexy calendar, you know? Following that interaction, on October 18th, Kenny uploaded a video called M Cave Hike, which is still on the Snakebit McGee channel and has accumulated nearly 3 million views. Now, the video is about 22 minutes long, and it contains some interesting footage. It starts with Kenny speaking to the camera next to an abandoned mine shaft, and mountains in the distance behind him. He says that it was a bit of a hike, that he had started about 7 a.m., and it took him a few hours to get where he was at that moment. And he's just telling you what he's doing. He gives a brief explanation of his M Cave story, talks about the route he's going to take, mentions how he's done this a million times before, shows what he was basically the exact route he plans on going, and then he shows you the mine shaft itself.
Man, some people are fucking
And
nuts.
this mine shaft will be important later. If you look into the shaft, there's about 22 ladder rungs, so we're talking probably 20 to 25 feet down. There is a steel barrel, a 55-gallon drum. So you can pretty confidently say that the last time this cave was used was at least after 1905, when the 55-gallon drum was invented and put to market, but it's hard to determine the exact age of the shaft. The wood there is not completely broken.
You want to rephrase?
But it's...
Bro, how the fuck is your shaft growing faster than you?
Would you like to rephrase?
It's definitely old. It's hard to tell precisely how old, though. And his explanation of the cave goes into a little bit more detail here. He reiterates that the cave...
Wait,
Yeah, sorry guys. It's actually the mine that you guys are in right now, okay? It's actually that cave.
Was about
I set it up next to a bomb site, so if you try to escape, you're gonna get nuked.
And that it was fairly deep, that he didn't go inside of it, but he could tell it went on a little ways. And he says that he's gonna head down into this little canyon, and that the cave itself is going to be in the side of one of the mountains in the canyon, and that's where he's going to find it. And
Okay,
this
there,
point is when he actually shows you the mine shaft. I'm sorry, that was chronologically out of order, but you know, it's alright. And then, somewhat ominously, Kenny says, if you fell down that, you'd be a goner. To just address this immediately before you think you know where this story is going, no, Kenny does not get found in the cave at any point. Just to get ahead of this immediately before you make any assumptions about where this might be going, no, Kenny was not found in the mine shaft. And throughout the remainder of the video, he stops to eat some berries, looks at some wildlife, and you can tell that Kenny has a real reverence for the beauty of nature. He genuinely enjoys being out there, that the wilderness is his happy place. And it's...
Now, I've always had a question about that. Why?
I don't know. Some people like to go outside. I know you don't, but like, you know, you gotta judge people for what they like.
Well,
And some people like the deep sea dive. I disagree with that.
I mean, I can kind of understand that, but like, I just feel like I'd be so bored.
Yeah, there's no internet in the wilderness.
Yeah, the internet makes everything more entertaining. So if you shove me in the wilderness, I'll be bored out of my fucking mind.
You can barely walk around a convention center that's full of stimulating things
Alright,
going
buddy.
on your phone.
Okay, well...
He's commenting on the shape of rock formations, he spots a ram, and he discusses...
We should go camping.
No.
And then,
Absolutely not.
Seconds, you can see off to his right, there's a cave that kind of looks like it's shaped like an M. It's not the shape of a perfect capital M, and it is kind of more round than anything. It's really just a angled rock formation on the side. It doesn't look the way Kenny described it. It's too low, it's too circular, you can't tell how deep it is, and Kenny just kind of walks right past it like it's nothing. It does not stick out to him. And of course, we don't get an actual timeline on when he first spotted this M-shaped cave, but he's got a pretty concrete idea of what this cave looks like. So if he had passed it, he probably would have recognized it. Some people say that, oh, maybe it had caved in, but it's too low. It couldn't possibly be anywhere near as tall as he was. But he keeps on circling back. He had said earlier in the video that he had a case of cold beer waiting for him in his truck and he can't wait to drink it. The video's kind of anticlimactic. Nothing happens. He doesn't find the cave. He works his way back.
Seki's scared to go camping, a bottom, and like certain cannibal woman confirmed. I mean...
I can agree with two of those things.
And you are not agreeing with the camping one.
No.
Ashley's hot.
And it's pretty uneventful. The next day, he responded to a YouTube comment.
Physically,
saying, "Did you
less
make it back okay?
personality.
Answers,
No, her
"Back from
personality is
10 hours
also
yesterday,
attractive.
I
It's a little
completely searched the
spooky.
whole damned canyon,
How's it
but could
spooky?
not relocate the cave. I found a tarantula, a tortoise, and a ram, but I could not find the cave. I don't know if you have ever climbed up and down a mountain for 10 hours, but it wore
No.
me out. All I got
Are
is
you
photos and a
fucking-
big bag full of pinion nuts. This is the
You
perfect time of
captured
year to
clips
climb
during your
mountains.
recent
Thanks for asking."
stop
But
reminder.
you admit, Kenny, you just seem
There's a
to-
hotkey.
They haven't found him yet.
Hold on. There's a fucking hotkey for Discord to make clips. Don't enable clipping, you fucking asshole. And it's apparently Alt-C. I haven't hit Alt-C. My god.
Oh man. Oh my god. I'm exhausted.
Why?
That's true.
I've been up since 11 this morning.
Millions have 'em. But here's what's very interesting about Kenny. On camera,
Okay.
and of course he's always shooting himself, there's nobody else there. On camera, Kenny's a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy. He's got these ideas. He's just looking for, you know, it seems like he's looking for someone to validate him in a sense. You know, we'll get into some of the stuff that is said about Kenny by the people who knew him, but it seems like to a certain extent, you know, he was just trying to spread joy in the world in these videos, which is why you can tell that the comments kind of hurt him, because he gets very defensive. People accuse him of lying. They say, "Oh, well, the cave was never out there, and you're just pretending you couldn't find it. You know, why would you say this? Why would you do this just for some views and some likes? It's ridiculous." Which is a weird thing to say, because Kenny's channel was not monetized, and I don't think it's monetized even to this day. Someone claims he's lying, and he says, "You're welcome to your opinion. I have a video of the hike if you'd like to see it. I hiked completely around a large mountain. Do you have any clue what it's like? There are hundreds of caves up and down the canyons I was in. I overestimated my ability to find the one I was looking for. It's rare for me to do the same hike twice. I don't use trails. I cover extremely long distances. If you think you could do better, go for it. I have to warn you, though, it's brutal on the feet. I will often lose 1 or 2 toenails after my longer hikes. The nails take such punishment that they turn black and fall off. I will say, Kenny should have...
You.
What is wrong with you? Dude, fucking nature people are nuts. They're
No,
fucking
nature people,
nuts.
They just like different things.
I like
You like,
to walk.
you like anime women on the internet.
Yeah, but I don't like to walk until my fucking toenails turn black and fall off. What's more weird? That? Or jerking off to anime woman?
Wanting a cannibal sister girlfriend.
No, don't worry about that one. We're not gonna worry about that one.
We're not gonna worry about it. We're not?
Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that one. I love this fan art of her that just says, "I love Paris," and it's her fucking blowing up a cell tower.
What? I love Paris.
Goofy. Lele.
devoted some of his time...
Sometimes I rip out my toenails when I...
If you...
You what?
Alright, that's a timeout.
You rip out your toenails when you're really stressed. Why? 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 Why?
Ever solo hiked for 15
Why?
miles into a mountainous region and then climbed to the top of a mountain you have never even seen before?
God, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but dude, honestly, fucking cut yourself instead. Oh my
I
god.
rip off the sides of my fingers as a stress thing.
Oh.
Like, have you seen the sides of my thumb and my pointer finger?
Also new reasons to like her. Well, I mean, come on.
Spent the night on the peak and climbed down the next morning.
I
then
didn't
climbed
see
another
you as somebody who
climb,
was into
climbed
choking women.
again, then hiked 15 to 20 miles all the way back to your vehicle the following
No, I
day.
just mean that she is the type to say harder.
Heavy pack when you left, and barely having enough strength to
Asian
climb up the
parents'
stairs
exams and
home,
bullying
slid
could do
into
a lot to your mental health.
slid
I know. I mean,
I was good at test taking, and I stopped caring about my bullies, so I stopped being bullied.
two of those things I can relate to. The exams part, I was also really good at tests. So, other two though, man.
This is
Childhood
one thing
trauma,
I
woo!
never will understand bullying, dude. I feel like I was bullied like a little bit in middle
this is what
school, and
I
then
do
I
for fun.
just
No,
lost half of my
you
emotions,
can't.
and then I stopped
Only
caring, and I never was bullied again.
Try again. I guess I need to start posting the videos.
Not losing half your emotions.
Me catching rattlesnakes and critters. Then people like you would stop doubting me. And then something weird happens. Because for the most part, the comments are
Oh, something weirder than the guy who goes in the caves
or criticizing
and hikes
him.
10 miles
Really,
up a
I do
mountain.
those too, but one sticks out from an account called Lemmy Killmeister. Sorry, Lemmy Killmister.
Let me kill Mr. Who? Are they masochists or something? I threw like three deaths at them.
I assume this was not the Lemmy Killmeister of Ace of Spades. You know, that's probably not the same guy. So, assuming that this is not the Lemmy Killmeister of Motorhead, he says, no, do not go back there. Honestly, it doesn't matter if he is the Lemmy Killmeister from Motorhead, it's ominous either way. No, don't go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out. Now, it is entirely possible that this is just a concerned person who knows that going into caves alone is extraordinarily dangerous. But it comes across rather frantic, as in like, no, you really don't want to go in that cave. Like, maybe this guy knows something? It's hard to tell. But a few comments go on, and
I once got suspended for stabbing a bully for smashing a kid's head against the wall, but he just got detention. Well, to be fair, you stabbed them.
You would never be able to set foot on the school grounds again if you did that in America.
Yeah. The weapon was a plastic. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
and then Kenny says, I'm going again this weekend. I will be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. I will cross through the same canyon where I found the cave. If I don't find it again, I will continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. I dare any of the people that like to run their mouths on here to join me. The hikes are brutal on the body. After one of my long hikes, some of my toenails turn black and fall off. I lose about 13 pounds of body weight. It takes me about 3 days to recover from the abuse I put myself through, but I love every minute of it. There is no guarantee.
You're fucking weird, man.
Yeah,
You're
is.
fucking weird. Masochistic motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with you? Actual fucking weirdo. What the fuck?
Oh, I don't know, but I love Paris.
What? 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 You love Paris? Why?
The image is just living in my head. Can we take a picture next to a cell tower at some point?
Lele.
Who is in Paris?
The region I cover is vast. There are many caves. I have been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again. And I want to make it very clear to those watching the level of determination Kenny is showing here. And that will be important, I promise. Kenny was going to find that cave. and he seems like he was going to find that cave if it killed him. On November 10th, 2014, which was my 16th birthday, Kenny set off on a 3-day hike. He told his family where he was going. He had done this before. Nobody thought anything of it. It was just Kenny being Kenny. And it was actually a pretty beautiful day. It was 81 degrees for the high. It was 53 for the low.
Mine.
Dry desert sun. It's actually nice hiking weather. And Kenny was pretty good about what he wore hiking. A statement from his girlfriend claimed that he would always wear sun protective clothes, snake guards, basically think like shin guards that wrap around your whole leg, and that he knew his survival skills. He was fine. He could survive off of nuts and berries and lizards, and he carried enough water with him to get him through his hikes. So, unless he managed to injure himself, there was really nothing to worry about. Kenny would not return from that hike. And on November 14th, a woman claiming to be his girlfriend at the time, a Sherion Pilgrim, says she called the police and informed them that Kenny was missing. Now, Kenny had brought some stuff with him, which they would hopefully use to locate him. He had driven his truck out there, he had his 9mm, he had his cell phone, and he had his camping gear. But Sherion says that he did not bring his camera, which maybe he figured it was extra weight and he could always go back and film it later.
So the more that I think about this, he did okay, so he's been arguing with people on the internet for a while, alright? Okay, that's cool. He likes to go and brutalize his body all the time on these hikes. Alright, whatever. And he brought a bunch of gear to prove a point without the thing that lets him get proof.
You wanted to die.
I'm gonna call this a suicide.
Once he knew the precise location of the cave. In any case, they were able to find his truck exactly where they expected it to be.
Yeah, I'm calling this
Then,
one a
after
suicide.
more searching,
More
about
that I think
80
about it.
searching, they managed to find his cell phone at the mine shaft. The mine shaft that Kenny, as I said earlier, was not in. There is very little news coverage of this search. There is basically the Las Vegas man missing, and there is the we found his cell phone. In between, there's a moment where his daughter says that she's pretty confident they'll find him, and that he's probably fine, maybe he's hurt, but he knows how to survive, he'll be alright. But over 30 searchers and a helicopter could not locate anything about Kenny after that cell phone. No clothes, no gear, nothing. Kenny had simply vanished. And
So that's the
there's
big
no
damning
consensus
thing.
on what happened. It seems
If
that
it was a suicide, where is he?
Maybe he's in that other M cave. And he put it in the video on purpose.
that perhaps his family,
I don't know.
at least his girlfriend Sherion, accepts that he's
Why,
no
even you
longer
know that was
with us.
dumb.
Now, she does not think that he had an accident. According to her, he went into that desert to end his life.
Huh.
Hmm.
Reason for this involves the fact that he left his camera behind, but he also told everyone he'd be back.
Yeah. Okay. I have a crazy ass story that happened on Monday.
What happened?
My old manager's uncle killed himself. Oh boy. Yeah, no. He just like went out to go drinking, said he was going to be back, and fucking ditched his car, all of a sudden went missing, and then they found his body floating in the fucking river.
Tough.
Yeah, tough luck.
Sure, it's possible that he made this decision, told everybody he'd be back so they wouldn't worry and wouldn't come looking for him, but there's that cave.
Yeah, no, so again, that whole saying shit to make people not look for them thing, that That
I love how you're trying to throw this away. It's still not going to explain to why the fuck he left his cell phone in that mine shaft and then they didn't find any body.
that's a good question.
Like I said,
I love how you're like, oh, he definitely killed himself. Okay, then where is he?
Well, no. Like, I'm pretty sure he killed himself. I just don't know where he is.
To find that cave, to prove himself right. And maybe, as Sherry
Maybe he got disintegrated by one of the bombs. Ever thought about that?
said, he was dealing with depression. She says that he had opened up to her about the way
Why
he
is his
felt
cell phone in the
and
mine
how
shaft?
he was having some money
I don't know. Maybe he dropped it and was like, alright, time to go.
troubles, and at some points he had mentioned that he was
What is your current
Nobody.
opinion on the money we make from free laborers? Oh no, we don't make any money. That's just my food. Yes, I eat rocks.
I eat free laborers.
allegedly, and I am being very careful with my words here, allegedly investigators got onto his computer and found search results that suggested he had been looking into ways to end his life. But I was unable to corroborate that story. I actually couldn't really find much news on it at all. There's very little reporting. Most of the explanation for what may have happened that we have
Of course I've been eating the uranium.
comes from his girlfriend. So I think it makes sense for me to read that statement to you. I am the girlfriend that Kenny spoke of in the video. There are so many posts. I had no idea until a friend let me know. So many people are wondering what happened and guessing different things. You are heartfelt about the sadness around what has happened with Kenny. He has not been found, and I feel that he probably will not be found for many, many months, if ever. I want to share what I know and feel about what happened so that it might bring you some closure and understanding in your own lives. Kenny absolutely loved hiking in the desert. It was his very, very favorite thing to do. We hiked and camped together all over the Nevada desert, sometimes 9 hours in a day. We found many abandoned mining towns, usually referred to as ghost towns by Nevada hikers. We explored many caves and mine shafts. We were always careful how we explored them, but Kenny was a bit more daring than I was. We brought snake guards, sun-protected clothing, used walking sticks, brought enough water and food for the hiking hours, and had extra water and food in the car. He rarely drank all his water. We took wonderful pictures of all sorts of things we saw: rusted cars, old falling down buildings, cemeteries, mines, wild animals, tarantulas, scorpions, trees, cacti, and flowers.
I still don't like
Our
nature
deserts are
much.
beautiful if you have a love for deserts. They are not spooky scary, but you do have to be careful of the terrain.
Skeletons?
And of course, enough water and food. We always were excited.
No,
when we
don't.
saw desert
I'll get
flowers,
copyrighted.
like the bighorn sheep in the video. They are so stunningly beautiful to see in person in our desert. We would stand quietly still to watch them as long as possible. I was so very excited to see the one he had filmed in his video. I want you to know that I do not think Kenny had an accident. I believe he committed suicide. He battled depression for many years and would not take medication or see a doctor. He quit his job a little more than a year before he disappeared. He wanted to see if he could sell his inventions and do what he called cowboy interior design for homes. He bought his first home 5 years ago and had an amazing ability of decorating in this style. He was not successful in getting a business going and was running out of money after a year of not working. He no longer wanted to work in a job for someone else, and as his money decreased, he became more and more depressed. He really did not look for another job. In early October, with seeing his depression increase, I said to him, "You aren't going to pull a Robin Williams on me, are you?"
That face.
It was 2014. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Man brought many, many laughs to many, many people. His loss is greatly felt to this day. This is when he opened up more about his depression and his thoughts, much of his life, about suicide. His father committed suicide when Kenny was in his early 20s. When I asked him the question, he answered me with, "If I decide to do it, you will be okay because you are good at the law of allowing." I have no idea what that means. He asked me what I would do if I did it. He also said if he decided to do it, no one will ever find me. It would be easy to do something like this in our desert with the number of natural caves and mines. He could hike many miles in a day, so there is no telling where or how far he could have hiked during his 3-day, 2-night solo hike. When he did not call me after the 3rd day of being gone, I called missing persons. The search for him was started within a couple days of my call. Over 30 search and rescue team members searched 3 different times on foot. 1 helicopter flyover was done, and there was no trace of Kenny or any of his camping things. They found his car in the area I told them it would be. They did find his cell phone by the mine shaft in the video. The mine shaft was only about a 4-hour hike from his car. It is my feeling he left it behind so that he could not be tracked from the GPS in it.
Yep.
He also did not take his video camera with him on this solo hike. It was left in his home. So he had no intention of filming anything. I share this with you for 2 reasons. First, so that you have more of an understanding who Kenny was, and to bring some peace or understanding.
All right. Well, let me explain a fun thing about the desert. If you bury a body in the desert in a random location, you will probably never find the body. Ever. It will literally never be found.
I don't desert, so explain why.
If you... Oh, dude, so there's a very famous case of a killer who the police and the FBI had to grant his wishes because they just couldn't find the bodies. The families agreed to even let the fucker go just because they wanted the bodies back. All he said was, they're in the desert somewhere. They could not find him. He showed them where it was. And he got off, almost scot-free. He just had probation.
They're in the desert. Go ahead, look.
Yeah?
I'll wait.
Literally, good luck.
I'd rather let that man rot than fucking... than let him get away to know where my family is.
Well, here's the thing. Because they couldn't find the bodies, they couldn't prove that it was him. They couldn't really prove it was him. Wild cases with law. So, I believe that in this case it was a suicide and his body was never found because the desert is fucking impossible. Sure, they did a flyover, but they did a flyover over, what, several days? His body's probably buried in the sand somewhere. Never to be found.
Standing to the situation. Secondly, if any of you do decide to go out into our desert to look for him or the M Cave, be careful and bring enough water and food. Walking sticks are a good idea and not doing a solo hike. Bring a GPS and make sure that you have let family or friends know that you are heading out for the hike and where and when you will be returning. A search really can't be a one-day hike. You would be repeating much of the same hike, just getting up the mountain and then be left with not many hours in the day to do the search. You would need 2 or 3 days at a time, and in the summer, or even late spring, this cannot be done because of the heat of our desert. You would not be able to carry enough water. So please, please be careful. I had many wonderful experiences with Kenny, and will always remember them and have a place of love in my heart for him and the wonderful things we did together. I am healing from my loss and look forward to new experiences with desert hiking, camping, and taking beautiful pictures of our desert. Enjoy your adventures of life, and thank you for the kind, loving comments sent my way. Much love, Sherion. A little smiley face. Some people doubt the sincerity of Sherion's comment. I'm not going to have an opinion on that. I don't know Sherion, I don't know what the situation was, and to me, it seems like that could have been complete honesty from her. I really have no reason to believe that she would lie. As far as I know, there weren't troubles in their relationship, and she did not stand anything to gain from his disappearance. Sherion posted that comment on December 10th, 2014. What is weird is not her comment. It's the fact that Kenny, in the M Cave hike video, showed the exact route he planned to take. And then he said he'd just keep going if he couldn't find it. This is YouTube, and while it's still in the early days of being a YouTuber as a thing...
Oh, for both head tilted listening to this.
Moving out of the, you know, the Smosh period into the PewDiePie kind of thing, you know?
Yeah,
For those of you
around
who
that time.
remember that. If you're younger than 18, I'm sorry. A whole lot of people went looking for Kenny. Like, a lot of people went looking for Kenny, and some claim to have found the cave. For example, if you've seen the video about the Horton Mine, that guy claims he found the cave through a friend who is in the military, and that, you know, now there's a danger restricted area sign and there's a little wall of rocks. But that cave is maybe 3 feet high. It's got some planks of wood in it, and it's very, very shallow and pretty wide. It's not the right cave. And I don't want to make any comments about the motivations for posting that video, but it just doesn't seem like the cave. Maybe he really just wanted to put it to rest and give people the confidence that Kenny's not in that cave, but it can't be the right cave. But the thing is, we have his route. So how is it that not only did 30 search and rescue team members fail to find any trace of Kenny after the cell phone, but all of these YouTubers who combed that same canyon also didn't find any trace of Kenny? It leads you to suspect that maybe he didn't end his life in that desert, and sure, maybe he did become disoriented and wander off somewhere, but that cave keeps coming back, and it's stuck in my brain.
Well, yeah, he planted a seed in your mind. Now you're looking for this cave that may or may not exist. Well, he could just be buried somewhere in the desert, but everybody's so fixated on this cave, and he's also explained in the past that if he ever were to go missing, he would never be able to be found. Again, it's a massive just manipulation pool. That's where I'm like thinking with this. It's just,
So you think that he served and planted this thing for as long as he planted it for this M cave, just to end his own life in the desert?
you have no idea, dude. The lengths people go to kill themselves and drop off the face of the earth.
Now, I think a more legitimate idea is that he did it because he wanted people to go explore the desert.
Now, why would he want to do that?
Because he wanted to share what he enjoyed with people, so he wanted them to go do it. And he didn't want to live anymore, so he said, hey, let's plant this idea, so at least people can, if they don't want to look for me, they can look for this cave, so they can explore the beauties of our desert.
Sure, I mean, I guess, but it still is a thing
The
of...
Pharaoh's curse!
It still is the thing of he planted an idea in everybody's mind, and everybody is so fixated on this fucking cave.
Can
And
we
again,
sample the rest of this video with Terraria desert music?
Yeah, that's not copyright. Hold on. Terraria desert music. Extended. Hell yeah. Oh man, it feels like I'm playing the game.
What was that? Alright.
There we go.
Because, yeah, Area 51 is 3 hours away from here. That doesn't mean that they only test weird stuff at Area 51, and
Yeah.
while Kenny did describe the feeling as vibrations, there's some other military technologies that could be involved here. So obviously,
Oh, shut
because
the
this
fuck
is
your
in
mouth.
relatively close proximity to Area 51, a lot of people suggest aliens, and that he was abducted, that the reason he disappeared is that he was
No, you're in the fucking desert. Anyway.
simply taken up with a tractor beam. That seems rather unlikely to me.
Okay. This motherfucker has like some of the best dry humor and reactions I've ever seen. My god.
That seems questionable at best.
Questionable at best. Alright. That seems a little weird, but you know what? You do you.
What does seem rather unlikely is that he found something weird in that cave. He was so determined to show everyone that he was right and that he wasn't lying. And that kind of determination doesn't come from a fib, and it doesn't come from somebody who's planning to die or fake their own.
You'd be
I agree.
incorrect, but
I agree, but I've never been in that mental state. And I've never
Anyway,
heard of anybody else
Don't
going
think
that
somebody
far.
has something to prove. And there are things that would create that sensation. For example, something called an active denial system. If you don't know what an active denial system is, it's basically low-power microwave radiation that the military and the police use to prevent people from going somewhere. It's not harmful permanently, but it does cause your skin to feel warm because it causes the water molecules inside of your body to vibrate, and that creates heat. And then you end up feeling like you're being blasted with a heat ray to the point where you decide to just turn around. Like, you don't really want to deal with that. There's also low-frequency sound weapons that people will use to create a feeling of unease, make your body vibrate, disorient you, things like that. There's a lot of different technologies that involve causing people to vibrate as a weapon. And then there's the
Watch
alien
paint dry for the
abduction,
next
but
stream.
still alien tech.
Okay, alright, but I don't know, I should not laughing. This case is pretty terrifying, but your guys' comments are so funny. Ah, man. I involuntarily fell asleep. Wow, I can't believe you fell asleep to my content. SMH my head, man. Can we watch paint dry for the next video?
What, do you find this boring?
Can I just say something really funny?
What?
Man's going half Ahegao face right now.
Take it from the top half. It's
Oh
like
my
them,
god.
That ceiling? Man, at a ceiling.
The
How?
ceiling is made out of ceiling.
Technology side of things. A number of people, and perhaps most famously Bob Lazar, have discussed experimentation with extraterrestrial or at the
Currently
very least,
$8 billion in debt because of that.
possibility of
Oh no, don't worry, you guys only eat cobwebs, so we're pretty
They
efficient.
even say that these energy sources
To the people that are bored,
but they claim that these were
sorry that we don't have Subway Surfers on with this.
Hold on, I can fix that.
Do not.
Worked on it, and Bob Lazar claims that
The video stop at that face? Oh, because I paused.
considered leaving it, which is something the government would do. I mean, you know, like considering that they killed Kennedy.
Play.
Hold on. You are not just going to go from, oh, you know, magical alien space beams, haha, fucking silly goofy. You know, it kind of sounds like something the government would do. After all, they killed Kennedy. Bro. Oh my god.
Press play.
I think we're allowed to say that now. That's not. That's out. That's an open secret, right?
Oh man.
So what was his last posted video?
Why the CIA is always correct.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the government killed Kennedy. If I remember.
It just doubles down. Yeah, you know, the government they just fucking blew his head off.
Two, there will be a card right here that links to Wendigoon's video where he proves this with a whiteboard. Thank you, Isaiah.
I'm losing my brain cells, thank you. Oh, I lose mine every day.
So it is
I think I'm in the
certainly
negative.
possible that Kenny came across something that either he wasn't supposed to find, or that the military had set up an active denial system, whether it be microwave radiation or low-frequency sound waves. Low-frequency sound rave? We're
Rave.
So perhaps, perchance,
Mayhap.
Kenny did come across an active denial system. Maybe Kenny persevered and did find the cave. Maybe he went into the cave. Maybe he found something in that cave he was not supposed to find, and
Maybe he killed himself and the body could not be found.
Kenny is no longer with us as a result. It's hard to say, and I don't want to get too conspiratorial about it, and I don't want to disrespect the family by talking about the conspiracy theories surrounding it, but I feel
I'm gonna, like, hard-blown disrespect everything. Yeah, no, desert, dying, pretty fucking easy to not be
God, you're
found.
so boring. I hate you sometimes.
you have to
I'm sorry, but it's just fucking true! Like, that's the shit that happens!
You have no imagination. You're so boring.
The other shit, completely fucking unexplainable. Like, why the fuck was Pants sitting upright, man? It was found several miles in different locations. That makes no sense. That one makes no sense at all. This one literally just sounds like he killed himself.
You can never get conspiratorial about things. You can't be like, oh, this is kind of cool, or that's an interesting concept.
Because my brain goes to fucking logic, so
you're always like, yep, he was depressed, killed himself, desert, never found him. I hope he sits there and rots.
The body probably was eaten by bugs.
The fact that a large
Terraria desert music.
for this man, and it just does not seem like he was planning to end his life based on the way he talked about this cave.
I'm not gonna say it again.
Just play the video at this point. I'm like, I agree.
If he was planning to end things, it would be a very good excuse, but at the same time,
Yes.
why tell people where to look unless he
To do the thing that you said earlier.
was trying to throw them off, and why leave the cell phone behind? And
To not let them be tracked by the GPS.
why leave the cell phone behind specifically at the mine shaft?
Because he recorded the video there before.
Why not just leave it in the car if you were worried about triangulation or
Because everybody's gonna look at that specific cave, and now everybody's gonna be fixated on that cave because he's left his phone there, and yada yada yada, whatever.
tracking system? Why carry the phone with you out into the desert? This is one of those cases where, yeah, there is a possibility that there is a completely mundane explanation for
Hi.
There's just enough weirdness to question it. I'm not going to make any assumptions about what happened to Kenny. It seems equally likely that he got lost, that he ended things, or that he came across something he wasn't supposed to find. Again, he said this was very...
I'm sorry for being boring with this shit, okay?
They didn't find his gear, they didn't find his gun, they didn't find a body. Maybe Kenny went into a different cave. Maybe Kenny went into the M cave. Who knows what happened? I know that I really want to go look for this cave. I probably will go look for this cave if I can ever afford to. And maybe we'll vindicate Kenny. Maybe we'll figure out that, yeah, he actually did find it. I will tell you this, if I come across a cave that is making my body vibrate, I am certainly not going into it.
I wouldn't either.
But, you know,
I'm gonna watch glass melt for multiple hours.
Courageous.
That's what I'll do.
I'm about to make a fucking poll on Twitter that'll just say, hey guys, what do you want to do? Watch me play League of Legends or watch me smelt glass in Minecraft?
Or maybe I can pay...
With no commentary.
Yeah, with no commentary. I'm gonna go fuck off, probably. I'd just leave my model like this.
Set auto blink on.
No.
He can fit.
I won't lie, I was expecting you to say courageous or stupid enough.
I was gonna say that, but it felt mean.
But it would have been accurate.
It would have been...
Would have been accurate.
But
yes.
it would have
So, as far as that goes, I really have no opinion on this one. It could be a number of things, and until I can go and check out that canyon and possibly that...
Oh, don't worry about it.
I don't think I can make I can't reasonably make a conclusion here. I can't, in good conscience, give you an opinion.
Oh, I can with zero conscience for any regard of people thought, yep, English is very easy. I gave my opinion on this. What's your opinion?
Dude.
Yeah?
I don't even want to give my opinion.
Why not?
You're just gonna be like, that's stupid. Why would you think that?
Okay, what's your opinion though? Come on. What's your opinion?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I agree with him. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of things that it could be and that could have happened.
Yeah, but like, what's your headcanon here?
I don't think it's aliens.
All right.
Because that is, for
Fucking
God's sakes,
stupid.
not everything is aliens, people.
All right, so we know it's not aliens. Could have fucking told you that one. No. Don't worry about.
Do I believe he originally found an M cave? Yes. Do I believe that he killed himself in the desert? Yes.
Besides that, you have no idea.
Besides that, I have no idea.
All right, I'm sorry that I bored you with my I'm sorry I bored you with my facts and logic. Okay. I'm sorry that I had logical and rational thinking about this one, okay, bud?
You suck. You'll never get anywhere with all this logical thinking, silly man.
I still love my Terraria playthrough and the fact that I'm Skeg Harvey Oswald.
But you guys can absolutely let me know what you think in the comments.
Well, no, I'm not going to let you know what I think in the comments. I'm just already said my thoughts on it. Anyway, you guys should really watch more of this channel. This channel's fucking funny and good. You're still going? Yeah, it's only been 2 hours. Not that long.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, he's sleepy because he woke up at 11 a.m. and apparently that means tired.
So, if you have
It's 1 a.m. I
Yeah.
woke up at 11. Once I've been up for 12. See, if I was playing Apex Legends right now, I wouldn't know that I was tired. Genuinely, because I know when we end the stream, we're gonna go play Apex for another 2-3 hours.
Access to all of our exclusive content over there.
No. Okay, so the rest of that is just yada
Outro,
yada, random stuff. Okay. All right, what do we have here? What do we have here? I want more. Oh, hey, missing people right there. Hey, look, it's us. Very upset since I opened my messaging project list. It just won't connect. Ooh, I know that feeling. I had a really weird thing earlier today where Premiere Pro was not detecting media encoder at all. I had to force the project into media encoder. That was stupid.
Let's get another short one and open up his channel. See what he's got.
Yeah, what do you got there, bud? What do you have here? CIA document hide the true history of humanity.
The only problem I have with this guy is that he goes a lot into like Navajo Indian stuff, and I'm like, I get really, really bored when he starts just talking about Indian folklore.
Well, here's Into Thin Air and Missing 411. Which one?
Missing 411.
Okay. Holy shit, that one's an hour.
Is something supernatural responsible? Because it's talking about a lot of concepts.
I want something more modern-esque. Cause that modern 411 is wacky. That shit is wild. Because with the technology that we have, I don't know why more people's is. You make good content. Oh, well, currently, I'm not really doing it, correct. Honestly, I should be making more clip videos, short. Well, I don't like shorts. I really don't like shorts. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go on a fucking little tangent here. So shorts, in theory. Yeah, you go get a drink. I'm gonna be here for a bit. Shorts, in theory, are a very good way to grow your subscriber count. That is factual. People blow up, like, with subscribers easily. They get fucking thousands, even millions of subscribers off of fucking making shorts. Here's the issue. You might be getting millions of views on shorts. You might be getting hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers off of shorts. But if you're a YouTube live streamer, shorts just harm you in like the actual long term, because the way to grow your streaming on YouTube is to gather an audience and get watch time. Watch time is key with YouTube. So not likes, not comments. They do help. They do help. Likes and comments do help quite a bit, but watch time is the key. Because anytime that you watch a video, you're not watching other people's videos, okay? That's what YouTube really calculates here. So, if you are making all of your content off of like shorts and whatnot, you're gonna get a bunch of subscribers. You're gonna get a bunch of people watching your shorts, whatever. But those people are there for your shorts. They're not there for your streams, which means that those people that go to your shorts, they're usually like minimal attention span fucking wackos that think TikTok is God's grace. And they have no real attention span, so they can't watch a live stream. So what tends to happen is they click, see the person is streaming, they click, they're watching them for like 5 minutes. What does that do? They click off after that. All of a sudden, your stream is going to be pushed to less and less and less and less and less people. So, because of that, I think that shorts are a horrible way to grow. Really bad way to grow. Because, like, sure, you're gonna get a bunch of subscribers, you're gonna get a bunch of views, but your actual live viewership is going to be awful. Like, I've literally seen YouTubers who have a bunch of shorts that pop off, like millions of views, I mean. And then I go to their live streams and they're not even breaking 100 live viewers. That's really bad, especially for someone with more than like 500,000 subs and they can barely break 100 live viewers. That's bad. That's really bad. So yeah, I know the ways to rapidly get subscribers, rapidly get views or whatever. I just don't want to. That's not the way I want to grow. I want to like foster a community, you know? Talk to chat. Be a streamer and not have to rely on shorts. That's why I kind of just like stopped doing shorts. I'll probably do normal video skits and whatnot. I just don't really think shorts are worth it. Anyway, I wonder how long it's gonna take for the raccoon to come back. Oh god, it got hot in my room. I just spilt my drink on my face. Oh no, I mean I have a chat I can talk to, thankfully. It's also like near impossible to stream without a chat. I'm really bad at just talking into the void. If I can't like talk to people, it might as well be a silent stream. It's really bad. Oh.
That's where the imagination problem is, bud.
What, that I'm not schizophrenic enough?
No, it's you can't just use your empty mind to think of things. It's your empty mind has to think of a process to think things.
What does that have to do with what I said?
I don't know. I just got back and I heard the I can't speak to an empty void.
Yeah, I'm talking about streaming.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Again, so I'm not schizophrenic enough. Like, what? Me saying that I need a chat to be able to stream properly? Anyway,
I don't care.
Yo. What is on here? I really, really want to know, what is modern? Swept from Mount...
That's the climber that disappeared into the ice cave.
I'm curious about that one.
What do you get when you send 3 men in a rope up a mountain? 2 men. I'm Aiden Madison. Welcome back to
That's a good one. That's a fucking good one. What do you get when you send 3 men with a rope up a mountain? 2 men.
Mount Rainier is one of the tallest mountains in the contiguous United States. Known as Tahoma by the Sahaptin-speaking tribes of the region, Mount Rainier has in later years become a scenic
You know the weird
destination.
streaming
A place
audio
where
bug?
hikers and climbers will
What?
A weird stream audio bug that through Discord.
Yeah?
I'm having.
Oh.
What?
That's
go to
unfortunate.
test their mettle on a mountain that, while not, Mount Everest, is unforgiving to inexperienced climbers. Known as Tahoma by the Sahaptin-speaking peoples of the region, Mount Rainier is part of the Plateau culture area. The Sahaptin speakers are the most recent inhabitants of the area, including groups like the Yakima and Nez Perce, but these
The what and the
groups
who
also
now?
don't believe they were the original inhabitants of the area. Rather, when they got there were already old Indians, to use their terminology, inhabiting the region who knew stories of the time before the arrival of the Sahaptin. But as a result of these groups living on the mountain, many of the passes, climbing routes, and surrounding areas even...
By the way, super extremely wacky, random, and off topic. I just realized why Pippa uses a straw to drink her drinks on stream. So the tracking doesn't break.
Yeah, why? So you don't have to tip your head back? Because that's the shit that happens to me all the time.
No. So literally just so the tracking doesn't break. The can covers your face.
down to the glaciers.
Anyway.
Yeah, so does the
What?
So does the bottle that's in my hand right now.
Yeah?
And coastal...
Get a straw, forehead. You saw my ass with the plastic straws.
I'm drinking out of a 1 liter Coke bottle.
So you get things like Nisqually Pass, for example, on the mountain. Nisqually Glacier? It's either Nisqually Glacier or Nisqually Pass. That's not sensitive.
Yo, Bee-Boo Wilden.
Today, however, Mount Rainier sits at the center of, as one would imagine, Mount Rainier National Park. It's the 5th tallest mountain in the continental United States, sitting at 14,417 feet. And
damn!
Very popular for climbers.
That's a pretty big mountain.
First documented ascent by 2 people by the names of PB Van Trump and Hazard Stevens, which are just... Those are
great
names,
names.
let me tell you. But we're not talking about PB Van Trump or Hazard Stevens. We're talking about another guy who attempted to summit via the same route and never came down. This, my friends, is the story of Eric Lewis, a 57-year-old who thought he could conquer the mountain on a day when absolutely nobody should have been trying to conquer the mountain, including his friends. Now, very little information is available about Eric Lewis as an individual. With Paul LeMay, we had a wealth of knowledge to go off of. Eric just appears to be a very experienced climber who, at age 57, figured he could do it. And on any other day, he probably could have. In fact, he had proven that. He had summited Rainier at least 10 times prior to this expedition. But the thing about the route that he took is that it's not really recommended as a summer climb. And on July 1st, Eric Lewis and 2 companions, Don Storm Jr. and Trevor Lane...
Don Storm Jr. What a badass fucking name.
What a name, bro.
Began their ascent up the Gibraltar Ledges route on Mount Rainier. Now, the Gibraltar Ledges themselves...
That doesn't seem like a horrible route. Like, honestly, looking at it. Maybe like near the top, like around here, you see? That might not be the best.
Will he tell you?
Themselves aren't a particularly difficult climb.
Well, yeah.
If taken at the right time of year, which is December, January, and February. In July, however, loose rock, ice that isn't quite as packed down as one might need it to be, and other various issues make it a much more difficult climb. And on this specific day, July 1st, 2010, visibility was only about 5 feet in some places, and the winds were extremely high, 40 to 50 miles an hour. So...
why would you fucking try to climb it then? By the way, very, very also super random thing. After this, do you want to watch do you want to watch near-death parkour videos?
No, thank you.
Even attempting
people almost falling to their death.
If we were only going to watch videos.
It's only an intermediate alpine climb with a grade 2
I'm gonna go to bed.
Which, I'll be honest, you and I probably know what that
I
means.
can't keep
about
going
the
much longer.
I have no idea what any climbing terminology
Okay,
is. So I looked it
okay.
up, and grade 2
Sleepyhead.
is not supposed to be super hard. However, this route does include snow and slopes with a grade of about 50 degrees, which is a lot. The route requires crampons, axes, and ropes, and a bunch of other gear is recommended, such as helmets. It's not clear exactly what Eric was wearing at the time that he went up the mountain, but it's believed he was wearing his normal climbing gear, his backpack, his crampons, had his axe, he was connected to the rope, and that he was wearing a helmet. So he was outfitted for this climb. And a climb it is. This route goes up 9,010 feet. It begins around 4,000 feet, which is why, there's only a 10,000 foot actual climb. Point of the matter is, it is a hike. This is almost 2 miles. Just up. Of course, going back and forth, it adds even more.
Paint dry,
We're going 2
please.
miles into
Give
it.
chat what they want.
Not simple. You're talking about elevation sickness. You're talking about temperatures that drop considerably. It's just not a good thing to do if you are not in the proper season. And they weren't. Despite the absolutely horrendous conditions in which they were climbing, however, Don, Trevor, and Eric, in that order, on the rope. Don was the lead climber.
Can we
and then
commentate
the same
paint
rope as
drying?
him. A few meters below was Trevor, and then
Can we
7
commentate
meters below
paint
that
drying?
was Eric. And
Just for 4 or 5 minutes. That's not even like a well-painted wall. Okay, no, he's painting more.
He's painting the wall.
Is he just gonna paint the whole thing? This is painting, not paint drying.
No.
Oh, hang on. Oh. Such a bad job.
Yep. That paint is drying. That paint is in fact drying.
The Terraria music's making it.
No,
Turn on the
hold
overworld music.
No, I wasn't gonna put on the. I was not
The cave
going.
music.
Oh,
Wow.
you think I'm putting on the cave music?
Are you putting on hell music?
You've done this. You've done this.
No, we need the boss music.
Boss music.
Yeah, the boss music.
Who has a banging theme?
What's her name? Plantera has a great theme. But like, I'm just talking about the default boss music. Wow.
Welcome to the paint drying stream. Yep. That's paint.
Yeah. Woo! Paint drying! Let's fucking go! Oh my god!
That right there, that is in fact paint. Shittily put on here, by the way.
It's so bad. I could sit here and comment for 4 or 5 minutes on how bad this guy painted his wall.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, what was, like, has he never painted a wall in his life? Like, is this a canvas? And he just went at it. He was going at it, like, just all willy-nilly. I'm like, just go up, down.
It looked like a pinboard.
Paint a wall! I'm
Look
so
at those
very
streaks
upset.
everywhere, by the way. All those fucking streaks.
Well,
all in the different directions.
The streaks, okay,
uneven paint everywhere.
The streaks are because he only put on 1 coat. But
what? No, the streaks are because of the way he did it. I mean, look at the pattern. He motherfucker drew some like arrows and whatnot on here. Is this what they call modern
sounds like
art?
a funny concept for a video. Convincing small streamers to watch paint dry because I want them to.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go I'm gonna wait until this wall is get repaired.
So how long does it take for paint to dry? Oh, wait, why are there like view spikes? Does he come back in and put more paint on the wall?
No.
No, it's just...
Most
guarantee this.
replayed. Yeah, let's go to most replayed.
Oh, it's sagging. Oh no, so I can tell that he left this actually on. This isn't just a loop. This is legitimately paint drying.
This is a 10-hour video of paint drying.
How far does that end up sagging? Hang on. We are not going to sit and commentate and watch paint dry for 6 hours.
No, that sounds like a great time.
I will go to bed. It's just boss music, dude. It's getting to me, man.
Yep.
So you want to play Apex? I'm just kidding.
Paint
Or
is drying.
Modern art.
You're so fucking...
This is, you see, this is like a concept in our society. This is the whole, like, the
Shut
paint
up.
drying symbolizes.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
What?
Symbolizes.
You just don't understand. This is what art is.
Ah, yes. I'm pretty sure I can recreate this by painting a white canvas and then throwing my paintbrush at the canvas. Art.
It symbolizes how society constantly wants to fix itself, but it's always going to end up running like paint drying. That doesn't even make any sense. Yes, it does. Modern art is duct taping a banana to a wall, to be fair, so.
Alright, so if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go, Oh, I'm gonna go make like that, fucking desert man and go kill myself,
In Minecraft.
Nah, hold on, I got this.
Don't you know, chat always have more power over the streamer than the streamer does. Oh no.
Why is your face like that? No. No. Why is your face like that? My brain hurts more than the coincident cases earlier. Whoa, paint drying, let's go!
Let's go!
My character mouth is moving! Woohoo!
Can we just end the stream on paint drying?
Why are you staring into my soul? No, my character is soulless right now. I'm into the ethereal realm of non-existence. You've done this to me. You've all done this to me. How could you?
How dare. Now, if you excuse me, I will proceed to die.
How did this devolve so quickly?
How? I don't know.
To be honest, I was never really the same after you started ranting about the YouTube Shorts tab again.
Again? I've never ranted about it.
Yeah, gaslighting isn't real.
You're just
Imagining
imagining things.
Me and my sister, your. Do you have a big sister fetish that we need to talk about?
I just saw that meme, thought it was funny.
No, but like, do you?
Also, Ashley would be the younger sister. She is in the game.
Doesn't matter. I understand. I know Andrew's 22.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Did you learn about the lore?
No, I just looked at the Steam description.
Oh.
It has like a 96% positive rating. Apparently the game's
99.
good. 99, sorry.
It is a very good game. How does this make you feel? Watching
How does what
paint dry.
Like, I should have gone to bed 5 minutes ago.
I love paint. My favorite.
I huff paint thinner.
I inhale paint thinner. That's my favorite.
I think that thing in the middle sagged a bit more. That little paint thing.
Oh wow, it did? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, wait, no, hey, wait a minute. You saw that? Hang on, wait a minute.
So what?
He looped it. Hang on, go back. No. Hang on, wait, no.
Wait, what? He looped the paint?
He looped it back.
He looped
No,
it
that's
back?
cheating. He cheated. No, bad.
He looped it. What a motherfucker. Paint lore ruined. Immersion ruined. Fucking, oh my god, bro. I can't believe you showed your hands on stream.
The way that this climb worked was Don would climb for a while, stop, wait for Trevor to catch up. Trevor
What the
would wait
fuck?
for Eric to catch up, and then they'd begin moving back up the mountain. They made it to nearly the 14,000 foot mark, about 13,900.
Damn.
When they noticed something was off, Trevor stopped, after Don had stopped, of course, and he realized Eric was
Danny's
not
a viewer.
any closer.
He's not
So
here.
after several minutes, and we're not talking about them hanging onto a vertical cliff face, we're talking about, they're at most 50-degree slope.
The fact that 7 people just sat there and watched paint dry. Not just me and you.
Yep.
And what
Yep.
ended up happening was
7 people.
after a few minutes of this, of not seeing or hearing Eric, they yanked on the rope, and absolutely no tautness whatsoever. So they pulled the rope all the way up, and what they discovered was, despite seeing Eric just minutes prior, Eric was not attached to this rope. Now, if you
This
for
is
example,
Newt.
read the Missing 411 books, they're going to tell
Hi.
you that Eric had been cut off the rope. In reality, he was wearing a carabiner and had unclipped from the rope. Is that less strange? No, but it's a considerably different kind of strange. This means
Thank
Eric
God, I
literally
prefer this guy
removed
than the
his
wall
top
painting that can
performance.
summon
The very
demons.
first thing that Don and Trevor did was sweep their immediate area. Anywhere that rope could have reached with Eric attached to it, they checked. And what they found was that Eric's footprints went up to a certain point.
I am Newt. I'll type in chat if need be.
And then disappeared. There were no footprints going back down. There were no footprints going up. None going to the side. They figured maybe somehow he did skirt us. And so they ascended it, they got to the summit, and they checked around, and lo and behold, no Eric. No footprints, no suggestion he had been there. At this point, they realized something probably is up and we need to get help. So they descended about 4,000 feet down to Camp Weir, where it's at 10
Camp Weir,
by the way.
Weird.
And there they contacted rangers and they said, look, our friend Eric unclipped from the rope. We don't know where he is. He's missing. Can you help us find him? And immediately, a team of 3 rangers began ascending up to the summit to look for Eric. This team was
No,
led
hold
by
on.
climbing ranger Tom.
A snow biome, please.
Yeah, I was about to.
Actually reached
Yeah.
the summit of Rainier. Again, this is July 1st, so you can think about sunset and sunrise here. They reached the summit at about 8 p.m., so it still would have been a little bit of day. They checked around for him, found nothing that Don and Trevor had not already found, and then around 10 p.m., they made it back to Camp Weir. Camp Weir is the most commonly used shelter area for climbers attempting to summit Mount Rainier. It consists of a single one-story shelter made out of stone, and then several outbuildings, toilets, and stuff like that. The shelter itself is a 12 by 25-foot stone room.
That's pretty
actually very
cool.
pretty. I'm sure there will be a picture of it next to my head. But point is, it's nothing super special.
So it wouldn't in this case because of how snow piling works. You would still be able to make out his footprints. It would take a very long time for his footprints to be completely covered by the wind and the extra
That,
snow.
and if it was wind, he wouldn't have just fell off the rope.
Man vanished.
Yeah, I'm like,
But it's sturdy.
like,
Now, while
what
Tom
happened? The
Payne
guy
and
was
his
just
team were
like,
up the mountain
rope,
for Eric,
eh.
the other rangers sent for supplies because they had a
Nah,
feeling
he
they
saw
were
a snow angel and got
so they had supplies.
he got aroused by the snow angel.
And the next morning, a search will begin in earnest. On the morning,
It's like
of Friday,
unbuckling your
July
seatbelt and being
16th,
like, well,
of about
see you
60
later,
searchers
and then opening your car door.
started
Hey, I'ma head out.
This included both professionals and volunteers, and amongst those professionals, it included actual National Park Service climbing rangers, as well as climbing guides from the Rainier Mountaineering Company, Alpine Ascents International, and the
Why did they send so many people? Anyway.
International Mountain Guides, as well as a number of just climbing volunteers. As the ground
That's how many
searchers
people are
were
normally sent on searches.
mountain, a couple of helicopters circled in the sky equipped with infrared tech. One of the helicopters was a CH-47 Chinook, which was from nearby Fort Lewis, and the other was a helicopter on loan from Northwest Helicopters, which is quite a descriptive name. Thanks, guys. One team of climbers, which was focused on the actual spot where Eric went missing, between 13,000 and 14,000 feet, did locate his backpack at about 13,600 feet, and then found an ice cave at about 13,800 feet. Many versions of this story that you listen to or read will tell you that the backpack was found inside the ice cave. It was not. However,
That is false. Do not listen to that.
Maybe
It
he
was
got
false.
isekai.
Dude, what happened to your tracking?
My phone died.
How? You said it was full.
I said it was almost full.
Yeah, what is almost full to you?
89%. And it's just been about 3 hours. My phone battery with
the ice
tracking
cave
on lasts
is
about 3 hours.
where they last saw
Kinda
Eric,
cringe.
which leads to some questions. And we'll get to those questions, but first I need to point out that the other
That
three
means I get to
teams
lean back in my
were
chair.
searching nearby, and then the fourth team was actually searching the Emmons route, which is on the northeast side of the mountain, so a little bit away from Gibraltar Ledges, which is on the southeast side, but still within the area that Eric might have ended up.
That is
So
very
fourth team
odd.
descended the Emmons route and then hiked their way over to the descent route for the actual Glacier Ledges route. I'm using the word route a lot here, I'm sorry. They headed over to Ingram Glacier, or Disappointment Cleaver, are two names for this same spot. Anyway, they didn't find Eric in either of these spots,
Shocking.
and nobody on the other route found Eric either.
Guys,
All
they
did was
didn't
back-
find them. No.
Whoa.
Pack at 13,600 feet, Snow Cave at 13,800 feet, Eric missing by 13,900 feet. That was all the information they had to go on. And nobody found any footprints either, outside of the ones Eric left going up the mountain. On day 3, a couple of rangers skied down the Gibraltar chute looking for him, and this is a ski route that starts at 12,600 feet.
Guys, can we go skiing? Yeah, we gotta look for this guy. Oh.
16 feet. It's one of the ways of actually getting down, as well as one of the ways of getting up the Gibraltar Ledges route. Scouting it, they found no signs that Eric had actually been on this route, that he had gone down it, tried to go up it, there was nothing. While this happened, another team of searchers focused on the Nisqually Glacier, which is just to the southwest of the Gibraltar Chute. And they didn't find anything there either. But what they were checking for at this point was signs of a fall. Any shot that he had landed in the snow somewhere, rolled down the mountain, but they didn't find anything of the sort. There were no imprints, no footprints, no slide marks, no body marks, no blood, nothing to suggest that Eric had fallen down this route. And they checked the entire fall radius from where he was. If there was a spot that Eric might have slipped, fallen, and tumbled down the mountain, they looked there. By the end of day 3, having made absolutely no progress, and with extremely high winds and lots of precipitation rolling in, they just had to call off the search. And they knew that if they hadn't found Eric by then, without his backpack and any of his supplies, it was extremely unlikely that he had survived to this point. And looking for a body in that kind of condition was really just going to put the Rangers and the Mountaineers in more danger than it was worth. So,
Skill issue.
Eric's body has not been found, and several questions do still remain. For example, why did Eric unclip himself from the rope?
Good question.
He never tried to signal distress, he never called up to anybody, there was no reason given, they didn't find any signs of distress. What was his reasoning for unclipping? You know, it's not uncommon for a climber who is in distress and concerned that their position will lead to harm to their companions to unclip from a rope or to cut themselves loose. But there was no sign that anything was wrong. And his disappearance, while sudden, does seem to have been deliberate, because he took off his backpack and left it at 13,600 feet. Did he make it to that snow cave? We don't really know. But why did he remove his backpack? And then you have to ask the question, was there any relevance to that snow cave? While Politis and Strange Outdoors and some of the other people who've told this story have said that the pack was in the cave, the contemporary reports don't reflect that, and neither do the National Park event reports. I read through them. They don't say anything about the backpack being in the cave, or any of Eric's gear being in the cave. They just note that there's a cave. If they noted there was a cave, it does imply that there's some significance to it. Maybe they were concerned that Eric had crawled into it seeking shelter from something, or that something in the cave had dragged Eric up there. But there's no evidence for that either. There's no tracks leading up to that cave.
Okay, so... what the fuck?
Like I said.
This one, again, is one of those ones where it's like, where'd he go? What happened?
I was about to be like, you gonna prove this one is a suicide too?
No, just like, where the fuck did he go? The other one had logic and reasoning. The man was actively depressed. You could see the straight logic of wanting to die. This one's just, alright, I'ma head out.
Yeah, unclip. I'm gonna also make it so I perfectly left no trace. My backpack just appears here.
Now, I can easily justify, vanishing in the desert. It's super easy for that to happen. The snow? No. No. You can be found in the snow relatively easily. Especially with infrared. Your body will always remain more warm than the snow.
The only idea I could possibly
You're
have...
barely...
The only idea I could possibly have is maybe that ice cave they found experienced a cave-in before they found the cave, and he got trapped deeper into that cave. That cave was deeper than it initially looked.
Goofy.
But there was not like there was any tracks leading to or around the cave, so...
Unclipped, and what reasoning for unclipping would have resulted in him not being there at all anymore? I mean, in order for him to get blown so aggressively off the mountain that he didn't leave any tracks, we're talking about winds that simply weren't there. It sounds like, at that point, it really does sound like something had picked him up off the mountain. If it had been something as simple as him having a heart attack, he would have unclipped and his body would have been found there. If he had been attacked by some sort of wild animal, there would have been a sign of a struggle, likely jerking on the rope. There would have been some sign that something was wrong. Instead, Eric just disappeared.
Vanished.
And that begs the question, where did Eric go? Searchers checked every possible alternate route, and we're not talking about an area with lots of trees or anything, but
What
they did
the
check
fuck?
into the crevices. In fact, this would not be the first time that somebody fell into one of these crevices, so they knew to look there, and they didn't find him in any of them. Where if Eric was in a crevice, it was somewhere that was not on the actual fall route. He must have hiked somewhere else. But if he hiked somewhere else,
Then you'd
where
find
were
the footprints.
And why did he leave his backpack? Eric was not in the snow cave. Now, I couldn't find too much information on how deep the snow cave was, but he certainly was not within the searchable area of it. As I've said before, he left no footprints, and even if he did take shelter in the cave, why did he choose to leave his backpack 200 feet below that point? That doesn't make any sense either. If he was concerned about something, so much so that he had to unclip, did he keep climbing? And if he did keep climbing after unclipping, why leave his backpack behind?
What?
Did he take off his backpack and continue climbing? Did he feel like he couldn't carry his backpack and maybe he could reach his friends? If so, why aren't there any footprints, and why not tug on the rope? Why not signal for help? It's not that there's no possible explanation for how any of this happened, it's more that each explanation seems to contradict.
Yeah, everything contradicts itself, so where the fuck did he go? Like, actually, what the fuck? Where did he go? No, what the fuck?
What? I don't know, man. Like people like this. So missing cases like this really intrigue me because it's like it's not a serial killer. Like there's no chance that this was like a serial killer. If there's a wild animal, it would have been a struggle, or you would have seen slide marks, footprints. It's not like he had any motive to kill himself or that he wanted to die.
My boy got Zanya's.
It is literally as if something grabbed him and just gone.
Badoom.
Yeah, literally, it's literally just Discord left the server.
He just vanished. What should we call the mining company?
Why is like
pretty sure
Why is like interdimensional travel an actual fucking option on this list? Like,
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't like it. Cause what the fuck?
unless this is one massive cover up, is the only like other like feasible option that isn't like a straight conspiracy theory for like time travel or dimensional travel or aliens, you know? Unless it's one massive cover up.
It could be a massive cover up. Also, the mining company, probably the slave pen.
Contradict on some level. If he was in danger, why didn't he call for help? If he had a heart attack, where was his body? There's no explanation for this that is perfect. And finally, the police didn't seem to think there was any sort of foul play. There was no motive for Don and Trevor to hurt him. And, again, they were the only 3 people on that part of the mountain. So in order for it to be foul play, they would have had to cover their tracks really well. And then there's the possibility that maybe Eric wanted to disappear. But why would he wait until 13,600 feet up the mountain to try and do that? And why leave the only possible way that he would survive, his backpack with his tent, his gear, his food, his water, why leave that behind? He'd then have to make a 10,000 foot, well, 9,000 foot at the very least, descent down Mount Rainier with no equipment if he wanted to disappear. So if nobody hurt him, he didn't hurt himself, and he's not in any of the crevices or caves that they searched, what could possibly have happened to Eric? Nobody knows.
Yeah,
But
no
people
one knows.
suggested that
What
this
the
was a
fuck?
cover-up. His friends killed him and hid his body somewhere.
I mean, maybe. Well, side with the government,
I genuinely don't think it's foul play.
I don't think it's foul play either. I just think the man literally vanished. Like, what the fuck? Slave Pen
Dude,
Mining
if
Company
this
seems
shit
like a good
happened to,
name,
like, one
but
of-
it won't slide with the government. We ignore the government here, okay?
If this shit happened to like one of my friends, dude, I think I'd be like fucked up for the rest of my life.
Boom.
Just like gone like that, like never seen again with no reasoning.
Like fucking Abdul in JoJo's.
And that seems to be the most likely possibility. Maybe he was shoved into that snow cave. Maybe they're the people who left the backpack. But without a motive, and without any evidence that he was dragged into that cave or anywhere else on the mountain, that doesn't really add up. In fact,
Yeah, it doesn't.
Nothing adds up, which is why this is one of the missing 411 cases, and it's one that honestly did not need to be altered to be weird. We don't need to say that the backpack was in the cave for this to be a weird story, so I'm not sure why people are changing details around, or maybe they just heard anecdotes that they decided to include without fact-checking. The point of the matter is, it's a weird case.
It is an extremely weird case. What the fuck?
But we'd love to know what you guys think, so let us know in the comments. If you want to support the work we're doing here
Like,
at the Lore Lodge, you can check us out on Patreon.
That's gotta be one of my favorite.
Exclusive content over there for just $1 a month, including monthly drunk folk.
Okay. What the fuck?
What?
Man literally just vanished. How? How? Why? What? When? What the fuck?
The more you're gonna look for an explanation, the more you're gonna realize that there really isn't one.
Yeah, there really isn't an explanation. Everything contradicts itself. It's just man vanished without a fucking trace. Somehow, in a place where it is very easy to make a trace. How?
The big damning thing is the fact that there was like not even another footstep that was him
No
outside of him going
no
up
sign of
the
falling.
mountain.
Zero sign of falling. Zero footprints. Zero handprints. Zero anything except for a bag found at a very odd location and footprints going up the mountain, not down. Where did he go? All the crevices were checked. Everything was checked. Where did he go?
No signs of him even double backing on his footsteps going up the mountain.
Yeah,
Let alone
and
how hard of
you
a
know,
task that would be.
it goes even further because this was in the middle of summer. That means that the snow is also pretty thin, which means he can't be buried under the said snow. That would be impossible.
Oh, he definitely can be. He's on the top of a mountain.
I know he's
That's
on the
pretty
top of a
impossible,
mountain, but
yeah.
it would not be.
But it'd be obvious where he'd be.
Yeah,
wouldn't
it would be
like,
very obvious where he is. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Which is why that is a very good 411 case in terms of creepiness. Because where did he go? Like that, well, eeriness more. So
Yeah, I'm like, I don't find these creepy as I do just strange. You just sit here
they're
and
eerie, they're odd,
because
they're
the
fucking
more
wacky.
The more you think about it, the more you're like,
Yeah, again,
Oh,
with this one and the other 411 video, like it really is just a what the fuck thing. Again, desert one, explainable. Other ones, what the fuck's going on? How did this happen? I still think that the crown for weirdest one has to go to the pants and
that being
socks.
split in half. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, you know, pants sitting upright on a fucking log with his bones still being in it, with the rest of his bones being in a pile somewhere far away.
I think the weird one is the one where he set up his own trail, and then he was double backed, missed the entire search party and the dogs. 9 months later, they found his bag with wrappers, just a couple of wrappers out of it, an open energy drink, and a thermos. And then a year later, they find him right next to the road he was staring at. The time skips don't make sense in that one to me the most.
It's just strange. All of these are just so fucking strange. Anyway, I know your ass is tired, so we're gonna end. This man is fucking eepy, alright? Fucking sleepy raccoon, okay? Look at this piss raccoon right here.
Piss coon. No, not piss coon, not piss K-U-N.
Hey, what bind do you have for Zanya's? What
What do
key
you
do
mean?
you hit?
Side mouse button?
Of course you do. Of course you fucking do. Which one, 4 or 5?
the bottom one.
What do you
I
mean
guess
the bottom
4.
one?
I guess that's 4, the lower one.
And it's closer or farther. What do you mean the lower one?
It's closer to my hand.
Okay, that one's 4.
Yeah.
4, 4, 4, 4. Get Zonias, get Zonias, get Zonias. Alright, so that is the end of this weird, wacky, wild stream. There shouldn't be any copyright issues, I fucking hope. I swear to God, if there are, I'm going to go insane.
I would just make sure you link the video.
Oh, don't worry, I'll link the videos. So...
Including the paint drying one. Imagine if that's what you got copyrighted for, is the paint drying video. Dispute.
The stream schedule for next week will be posted in the community tab and on Twitter. Tomorrow. I'm gonna post it tomorrow.
Tomorrow! Tomorrow?
Tomorrow! Yay! No. So...
No, tomorrow.
Yeah. That's all. Next week is probably going to not be very game-oriented, because I have a bunch of weird things I want to do. But... yeah. That's it. And Newt, you got anything to say?
Good night.
Alright, goodbye!